Welcome and Hetty Poo. How you doing? How you doing? Sad love. Going to the Genesis Radio People's Talk Show. How you doing out there? Hope everything is cushy for you and hope everything is running well and you're realizing your goals and your ambitions. And let me say, rise up to all those that are tuned in for the People's Talk Show this afternoon. And you know the rules and the regulations that we have here. We know it's your platform, and we're going to be interacting with each other and the community, you know, and like we always do on a Sunday. And I hope everything is clear for you. If not, you can always drop me a line and let me know, see if I can make necessary adjustments here. And the numbers to do that is as follows: 07440. Sorry, that's wrong number. 07404. That's better. 367618. And I repeat, 07404367618. We'll bring you into the studios, and you can also text in on the text line, which is 07931 276 232. And I repeat, 07931 2762 and 32. We'll bring you into the studios. And also one more time for the live link numbers, which are 074 04 367618. Let me rise up management. All of the engineers and technicians that go in to make up the formidable team that we have down here in the Genesis neck of the woods. Let me rise up yourselves as well, on all the presenters here, and yourselves, which without you it wouldn't make any sense. So just setting things up. So if you're receiving me, let me turn this text line on. So if you're receiving me, and you'll need to make some adjustments, well, you can text me on. Let me get this phone on, this text line on. Come on, get on. Okay, let me see. 1 sec. Right on. That's better. Right, as the text line's charging up, phone lines are almost ready to roll. And so, I'm just going to be with you shortly and just setting things up for you. Okay. Okay. Test 1 2. Just checking the mics. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2. Test. Mic check. Yeah. Test. Mic check. Testing. 1 2 2. Yeah. Right on. We're here once again. The People's Talk Show. I hope you're receiving me loud and clear. Again, as I said, if you're not receiving me, then you could always text me and let me know how I'm coming out. If I'm okay, or it's just need to be adjusted or whatever. So I'll let you deal with that. Let me say welcome and Hetty Poo to all of the Genesis family out there. It's a privilege and pleasure for me to be here once again with you to share ideas and concepts with you along the lines that the predecessors intended us to do. Now that's my usual opening for my show, which I like to say that we're back next week, Monday. Yeah, back on Monday, hopefully around 10 o'clock ish, from 10 till to whenever the next DJ comes in. And so I look forward to that because I've been doing some works, doing some training course. So that's why I was away for 6 weeks. Wow, that's a long break. I was doing the People's Talk Show every now and again, as you know, But I was longing to get back on the track, you know what I mean? Looking into some serious things, you know, moving away from the old entrenched ideas that seem to be the domain of certain groups in the community. And if you don't mind sharp, they tend to want to lead your thinking, you know, and if there's no alternative to that, then you would think that this is the only way to be. And I want to provide an alternative. Been around long enough to know these liberation organizations. They seem to have the loudest voice, you see, and so you would, on listening, you'd probably think that that they have the, you know, the solution. Well, I say is that why would you have an organization that purports to have the solution but don't really have it? But all the time, you know, they are the loudest voice heard. So as far as I see, if you don't have the solution, then why are you talking? If it's just a talking shop, it's just to boost your ego so you can ring in every now and again and make some noise on the airwaves and get people to be endeared to you. Oh, I like him. Oh, his voice is lovely. Oh, really? And that's all this kind of thing. And, you know, it goes on, and it's so annoying, you know. It really is annoying, you know what I mean? And sometimes I wonder if people got any sense, you know. Some of the things and some of the people which they hail in the community is a load of rubbish. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but, you know, and this is the kind of thing that is going on with us at the moment. I'm glad that it's not the majority. See, this is what I'm saying. So if it's not the majority, then we are A-OK, because that simply means that because it's not the majority, then it's just a small minority that are behaving in this fashion. And what we want to make sure is that if anyone does make inquiry into our community via the radio or via the net, then they will be properly informed, isn't it, as to what is really going on. And people won't be hiding behind mantics, hiding behind verbal barrage, or, you know, or verbosity, put it that way, or any intellectual aerobics that they may tend to want to perform every now and again for the weak and impotent. The good thing about it is for the weak and impotent among us. This is what they would gravitate around that, because they have no other option to do so. But I want to give people an option to say, because sometimes people paint pictures that are not really there. That's the problem, isn't it? I could start an organization for so-called liberation, and if I wanted to keep up a momentum when it comes down to our position as a group in the community and in space and time, we would have the correct perception, because sometimes you don't have the correct perception, and that seems to be a problem. What do you perceive as life, and how you perceive life goes? You know, there's 3 different types of people. So we can understand some of the manipulation that goes on, because when you think you're being liberated, you're being manipulated. And I want people to be aware of this, and I want them to resist manipulation, words that are designed to manipulate you through your emotions, images that are produced for the weak and impotent, and as they will make their own way forward, so to speak, then they are at pains to, the people who do this should be at pains to prove what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's all right for you to make suggestions, and, you know what I mean, auto-suggest something. I could auto-suggest that the society that I'm living in is really bad. You know, it's rotten. It's this and it's that, and the gullible ones will quickly pick it up. You know, because as far as they're concerned, the same thing. This what they're saying too. That society is bad and everything's topsy-turvy and everything is just the way it shouldn't be. And so and we run along with that, and we make things our reality. I once saw a post the other day on my Facebook page, the Heru, amen, and it said, let's not talk ourselves into certain things, meaning that as a man thinketh, so is he, and so goes his destiny. And that's bottom line, you know. If you understood that, then you would be in a position to help your people. See, but most of us are not really in a position to help us, only to wind us up even further. And I think we've had a belly full of that now for over 40 odd years. The same old crap coming over the airwaves, winding people up as tight as an alarm clock, you know, letting them go again, and just bare manipulation. No real solution. But if there was really a solution, then it would have to begin in the psyche, because we have already understood that's where the damage has been done, in the psyche. And so if the damage has been done in the psyche, then there's no point trying to heal the leg or the head or the rest of the body when the damage is in the psyche. We always, I think there is a consensus on that the problem is in the psyche, it's in the mind. I've always said it, you know, when I was on the last organization, I always said it. I said to them, it's going to be about behavior. And I'll come back and see you. I'll be speaking about this again. And here I am talking about the same thing maybe 3 or 4 years later. And it's definitely about people's behavior. Don't be manipulated. And so this is helping people from being manipulated through their emotions about culture, about tradition, about even blackness, you know what I mean? We can be manipulated like that. And I've noticed that there is a sort of a re-enslavement going on, a recapturing, like a slave catchers. The 21st century slave catchers are those that would want to keep us incarcerated. If he was about hold on, what's this here? If he was about the rehabilitation of your people, then you'd have to know a bit about the mind. You cannot offer any solution or even influence if you have no idea how the mind works. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have at least some working knowledge of the mind. Because that's what it's all right to say, you've got to have a right mind. But if you don't know how to achieve that goal in the minds of the people, then you're just left, as it is, just a winder-upper. And there's loads of winder-uppers in our society, and a lot of those who will gravitate around that. But I know that there are those and we call them 3 types of people in the world. And we know that first type is the Sahu. So we as Cometians have studied that. And I've seen that the type that's gullible and sleepwalking its way through life, we call that the Sahuman. Completely asleep. And you would think, well, are we going to wake the Sahuman? No, the Sahuman have to wake himself up. You see, we can't really wake the Sahuman, because it's no point waking him up, because once you wake him up, he's still going to be in a daze. And so the Sahuman has to rise and wake his self up. Then you have the Ba, or the Ab-man, the partially awake man, those that are partially awake, and that can manipulate people with their partially awake wisdom. They're not fully awake. They're still under the tyranny of the lower self. You see? And this is where it all comes in, because if you know about the lower self, as I have been talking about, and all of my shows were based on knowledge of the lower self, and it comes round to that today again. People that are not in control of their lower self, and they find themselves in trouble, like what's his name there, Bill Cosby, and quite a few other celebrities over the years that have been exposed, and not only celebrities, ministers and everybody. So that tells you something, innit? And if you were wise and you really know what you were talking about, you wouldn't choose to manipulate people within that realm and say, because you know that the fickleness of the mind of the people, you're going to take advantage of the sheep. You're the wolf that worries the sheep, you know what I'm saying? So instead of healing you and bringing you out, they load more crap on top of you. because they know that they can manipulate you through your desire or need to connect. If you think that you need to connect back to a tradition or culture, or are you worried about a lost culture? You may want to try and regain that lost culture. But I want to say this: even if you did not gain lost culture, if I've never known that I was an African, which is a really weird thing to want to establish, I'm not the only African. The whole world is African. And I put it on my Facebook when an argument, and a sister was saying, well, they don't really believe, and not only her, but a lot of others refuse to accept the fact that the white man is also an African. I don't know how to do the intellectual aerobics over that. They want to place him somewhere else, you know. And this is the weirdest thing that I found in most of the historical diasporan groups, Americans and the UK. They have this notion that the white man come from somewhere else. They refuse point blank to accept that it's a human. He's a human, and they don't even want to accept themselves as being human. And when did they become human, or become African first and then human after? And if you follow the notions, then that would be the case, isn't it? You're African first and then you're human after, which is ridiculous. Come on. It's about time we start making sense. Don't follow these back-a-wall type of thinking, and people seek to take advantage with that type of notion. You know what I mean? We can come and use old wives' tale and wine drop with all sorts of cliches, and it's not about cliches. And I hope not to be using any cliches, you know, because you're not here to use cliches, you know, and people are so manipulated and with cliches, and they, you know, go a bundle on that, and it's all deliberate. Those that claim to be liberators, they're supposed to know about how the mind functions. And I say that I study the mind and I study the brain before I open my mouth and say and suggest things. Because it's obvious that the people, especially the diasporan, historical diasporan here in the UK, who don't even give a damn about how the mind works. They, in actual fact, they don't want to know how the mind works, because they have found a manipulation through people's emotions about their tradition and about themselves. And if I'm going to tell you about yourself, I'm not going to tell you about your African self. I'm sorry. No way. I won't indulge in them kind of thing. That's ethnicity. And that's not going to really do anything for us in our state if we say that we're suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. We want something to bring us out of this post-traumatic slave syndrome. That means we haven't even attended to it. Show me a man that is healed from psychological trauma. Well, you're one speaking to you right now. How about that then? Yeah, I'm bold and brave enough to suggest that. You won't hear anything from me about my Africanness, brethren. I don't have to wear that on the sleeve, you see. And I think there's something wrong when you're trying to ram this idea down people's throat that you're African and black and you're this and the motherland, that and the mother. You know, to me, that's a ploy. That's not sufficient enough to heal one from post-traumatic slave syndrome. As I said, it starts with the mind, and the mind is not found in the brain. And I see right there. You see, you thought the mind was in the brain, but the mind is not found in the brain. But the brain is just a repository of programs, according to Ra Nafa Amen Meduneta Series 1. It will tell you that the mind is a repository of programs designed to control the body. You see? Nothing to do with the mind. And I don't think people have a notion of what the mind is. See? So you're leaving out all these important information and going straight for the jugular, straight for the political, the ethical, or the ethnicity. You know, you're going straight for that without experiencing the healing, you see. So when I do go back on my show, we'll be basing our studies on how to heal. How about that? I ain't going to indulge you in politics. I ain't going to tell you about people stealing land and get you all wind up about that and then rallied around that kind of idea. That's just still surface. That's not done anything to repair the mind. If I tell you about who you are, I'm not going to say that you're African. Sorry, there's a lot of people do that already. I don't have to join that bandwagon, brethren. You know what I mean? Everybody's an African as far as I'm concerned. And up to now, they can't deny that. Because everybody is from the one energy matter, and a lot of diasporans can't hawk that because they don't want the white man to have any notion of anything to do with that aspect. They come from Mars, you know, and they don't realize the thing. So when they misguide you in that kind of a thinking, to think that the white man is some alien from space, and they catalog all the things that the white man is supposed to have done, and this and that, and so they are stuck there. And those of you who don't want to be stuck there can transcend that, and then because of the laws that govern our existence, and because of the tree of life, the organic frame of reference that one refers to, rather than the 23rd chapter of one's imagination. That's what we're running on today. People's imaginations and people's personal angst, you know, and we're at the despotism of these kind of things. So this is my show. When I come back on Monday, we're going to be how to get out of that. How about that? How to avoid all of that claptrap. And people cannot manipulate you through your emotion because you're black and African and you supposedly have lost your culture, which you can never do really. You might as well say, you know, how can you lose your culture when it's in your DNA, brethren? And they're not telling you that. They're telling you a man stole it from you. So you can see the manipulation there. Or the plain ignorance. If it's not manipulation, it's just pure ignorance. Why would you want to educate somebody that way? That's a miseducation to tell people that they stole. How did they steal your culture, brethren? They went into your brain and picked out your DNA or something? I don't know. That's the lines ain't open yet, you know. Let me see if it's working anyway. Yeah, you're live. The line's not open yet, but go ahead. Hold on a minute. Keep talking. Right, keep talking. Go on, keep going. I can hear you there. One sec. Turn up a bit. Right, just keep talking. I'll sort you out in a minute. Wow. Why isn't that going? Go on. Oh, hold on. Talking bird track. You there? Keep going. We'll get there soon. Right. Okay. All right. You there? Right, keep going on. Keep going. I can hear you a little bit now. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Yeah, the line isn't open yet, but just to be quick because I want to just, you know what I mean? I haven't even opened the lines yet. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on then. Okay, keep going. Just keep going. Can you hear me? Whoa. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah, so we. Oh, hold on. Let me just turn it down a bit here. 1 sec. Turn it down. Yeah, it's feeding back, but but I've sorted that. It sounds a bit. Sounds better. Okay, that's good. Yeah, man. Okay. Right. Thank you for that, Bertrand. You can call me. Yeah, you can call. Thank you very much for that. Enough respect. Bless up. All right. Hopefully you could hear him. So as I was saying, where we found ourselves today as a group, as a community, we found ourselves at the constant manipulation of people, various little groups. They're vying for our consciousness, for the collective unconsciousness. There's a war on for the collective unconsciousness of the black group, as though the black group has some special consciousness or something. But not really. We're no different from anyone else. We do the same things as other humans, and the white people ain't different from us neither. They do things, and the Indian, and we're all human, brethren. And I think we need more of that. We don't need people, because at the end of the day, as I said, it's just a minority that thinks in that segregative way. That who probably think that patriotism is the best thing for us, to be patriotic, you know what I mean? For just as much as the people who we blame to do that. Okay, you're live on Genesis. Line's not really open yet. Are you phoning to test the line? Yeah, go on. Hold on, that's a bit funny now. I can't hear you. Okay, go on, caller. Oh, hold on. You know what? Yeah, I know what he's gonna say. Let me see. Keep going. Hold on, one sec. Go again. All right, 1 minute. I don't know. This is madness. All right, keep talking, caller. Right, yeah. Keep talking. Yeah, I can hear you a little bit, but not loud enough. 1 sec. Yeah, keep going. Oh man, this is long. Whoa. Hold on 1 sec. I tell you what, caller. Be with you in 1 sec, yeah? 1 sec. Let's keep talking. Just hang on the line. I'm gonna do something here. 1 minute. Whoa.
We got about 3 hours. Leave your phone alone. Keep you guessing what goes down when we be all alone.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. This line here. I don't know what's wrong with this phone, but it doesn't seem to be really working. Okay, caller. Hopefully when we do open the lines, the phone will work. I don't know what's wrong with this phone here. This one. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, I'm still waiting for my co-host to arrive. She'll be arriving shortly. Sorry about that, caller 326. Hopefully, we got it sorted. But yeah, as we were saying, we've been tossed here and there as a community. And what's the headlines all week? It was the trial of Bill Cosby, alongside other things, Brexit, and a whole heap of other things, which are just human things. You know what I mean? It's not a crime. It's no big thing. It's humanity trying to live, I suppose. And I think the more we get that way inclined. That's 276. 1 sec. Okay, go ahead. Right. Yeah, you're almost there. Go on. Keep going. I don't know. They've got a short in this machine, I'm sure. Right. Yeah, go on. Man. You have to keep talking, because I'm making adjustments as you talk. So keep talking. You're almost there. Good. All right, go on.
Yeah, so you working now?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear myself now.
Right on. Yeah, got it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
Continue, man.
Yeah, man. Everything
All
press. Yeah, man. Nice one. Yeah, so I think we sorted that out a bit. Yeah, so as I was saying, thank you for your assistance. You know, it's nice to know we can rely on you to help us make the adjustments necessary. So, what is it about? We ain't really facing any great, ordeal more than any other group. This is what I want to get over to people. We tend to think that we're the worst or we're the most, hunted down of the groups and everybody. And sometimes that's due to people's own personal angst. You get what I'm saying? This is what they see society as. And sometimes I wonder if it makes any sense if we're in a society and if we tend to live here. Obviously, if we don't attend, we're not going to live. We're not going to be living here. Then obviously, nothing here will matter. How we as a community develop won't matter. So we have to distinguish between the two groups. Are you for the community here, or are you for somewhere else? Because if you're for somewhere else, if you want to empty the community and take it somewhere else, like all across the water, then that's what you're going to want to do. And so the functioning of the community won't matter to you because you're not focused or concentrated here. And this is the trouble. We have certain groups like that. They're not really focused or concentrated here at all, who don't have any good intentions for here. You know what I mean? And they want to make it look really bad. They want to make it look like it's hopeless, can't go on, everything is rubbish, and think about over there. So we have that kind of a conflict within our community, and some people get mixed up, the waters get muddied up with that because they doing their best to make, as I said, to make things look hopeless. And so those of us who know, who are getting on, because notice there was a black candidate for mayor, innit? Take over from Sadiq Khan, remember, that black guy, normal, ordinary black guy. I thought, wow. And I'm thinking, well, how come they say this is a racist place? Not saying that it's not racist, but not to the detriment. They try to put it over because he's a black man, and he's going to be running for mayor, and to me that's cool. So it's not as bad as it really seems. That's why I said it's only the minority that makes it look bad, that has a vested interest in making things look worse than they really are. So I said we can talk ourselves into this kind of a mindset because we want that to be our reality. That's why you don't hear me talk about slaves. I don't want it to be my reality. You don't hear me talk about too much about black and African and this kind of thing, because that's not what life is about. And it's like we don't really know. It's not like we haven't been in a multiracial society before, because Africa's always been multiracial. People have always come there. Even in Egypt, if you notice, in the ancient Egyptian times, other humans will contest for various parts of this planet. That's what it's all about, Human beings contesting for supremacy. This is how humans interact with each other. They want to dominate, they want to control, they want to rule, and that's how it is. That's the nature of the human. As in the animal kingdom, you have various hierarchies. You have what do we call it? You have animals that like lions, for instance, that jostle for supremacy, for pride, and because they don't have the same a choice as we have, where we free will to choose. The animals can't choose, but they live instinctively. They go by instinct, and so it's instinctive for a leader to be deposed. You know what I mean? When he reaches peak, and someone else is going to take over, another one challenges that one's leadership, and he either kills the lion, and then takes over the pride. And even in the gorilla, that's how it is in the animal kingdom, and I do believe that is how it is in the human kingdom too. Everybody wants to rule, brethren. So let's not pretend that's not the case. And sometimes we overshoot the runway and over egg the pudding, with certain ideas like, oh, they're trying to rule us again. So if you've got that kind of mindset, how are you going to be a catalyst for development? If you've got them things in your mind, you can't help the community or help the group develop because you have this notion that they're going to kill us, and they're going to do this to us, and they're raping us, and they're killing, you know what I mean? So you always be on the offensive. Now, I'm looking at the case with Bill Cosby there a little bit, you know, and I'm wondering, wow, you know, then maybe it's the data protection thing that they brought in now, where people can go and get information about you when you're not, you know, a lot of this new fandangle data thing. And so they were able to look into this man's life. And the weirdest thing about it, I still hear little fringe groups saying, oh, it's because he's black. I don't know. Well, I want to hear from you and let me know. Do you think that, show me, because I don't know where it's because he's black why he's been found guilty. You know, does his blackness stop him from being guilty? I don't know. I mean, are we so perfect being blacks that we don't do these things? And when I first heard the case, I was saying, well, it's a witch hunt. But after seeing the amount of people that come and give evidence, you got quite a few people that give evidence, you know what I mean? 12, so many. I watched a documentary on it, and so many women came forward, and I think, bloody hell, man, Bill, what are you doing, Bill? And you know, and there's this rape drug as well, which has come on the market. Is it Repnol or something like that? I don't know. But apparently you could spike a woman's drink and have your wicked way with her, and this is what the man been doing over years. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, well, you must have thought that you could have got away with it. So I want to know, trying to straighten things out here, whether it's going to be a mixed thing. Is it because he's black? You know, are we still of the notion that he's been... Because I heard little sounds coming out from the diasporic group again. Oh, this white man is a rapist. How come you don't brand him as a rapist? See, it's the same thing again. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, why do we always bring it down to that kind of a level? You see what I'm saying? Why ever bring it down to that kind of level? Yeah, I'll be with you 1 sec, peeps. Yeah. Hold on. So you outside. So sorry, my co-presenter there saying that she'll be there in 5 minutes, and so we're looking at this now. Is it that notion? Is that, you know, are we faced with this kind of thing where everything we do, we bring it down to that level? Black vs white. Who's really causing problems here, in the sense of the word? You know, who's really making our lives hell? If it's like that, if it's going to be a life of white v black, and so that means we'll never ever gonna move from that position. It's like some groups want to keep us in that mindset. Their job is to keep us thinking in that terms. And it's not going to be the white man that does that. You see, so I think personally that we studied, as we discovered last week when we had the People's Talk Show, we found that there are people that with that purpose in mind to entrap us, to keep us enslaved. And I call them 21st century slave catchers. They're on the periphery waiting for us to make that move, and going to box us right back into, oi, you're a slave, or you're black and you're an African. You know what I mean? So how in a society like that, like we are, where we all as a group are competing for certain things in society, and it is important how people view you. I always say it is what other people say. No, it doesn't matter what, you know, it's this negative influences. And Joy DeGruy said, negative influence is another sign of post-traumatic slave syndrome. When somebody always negatively influences you about life, it is because they're sick, brethren. So if they are not well, why are we listening to not well people? You know, it really beats me. I might as well go to Molesley and get instructions from the inmates. No disrespect to the inmates in Molesley, mind you, but I'm thinking, if I'm going to be instructed by unwell people, I might as well go the whole hog and go and get instructions from them. Because at the end of the day, if we conclude that we are suffering in any kind of way, then we shouldn't be really making some of the noise and statements that are coming from especially the Back to Africa group, and that tends to want to disinterest us, make us disinterested in what's going on here around us, and make so we can compete better. As I said, there's 1.3 million blacks here in the UK, and out of the 1.3 million blacks, there's probably just a spit that are orientated that way. But at the same time, it's good to look at it that way. And then, so when you do come across these little fringe groups, when you come across the little fringe groups that try to instigate you that way, you can say, oh, yeah, I understand. It's just that for you. But if I want to go on, if I want to get on, like we said, that said group is going to label you a traitor. They're going to label you a sellout. So as far as they're concerned, you're a sellout if you try to get on in life. You see, you're in a multiracial society. Again, black people have always headed multiracial societies. Egypt is a classical example. Other groups were always, trying to get into Egypt, and we know that you cannot bar groups from any place in the planet. You know what I mean? They can't bar us, and we can't bar them. Europeans can't bar us. White people cannot bar us from coming here. You understand what I'm saying to you? So as much noise as they want to make, if you say that they're racist and don't want as much noise as they make, it's not going to work for them. You see what I'm saying to you? And so, with this in mind, we if you look at the time and length, and as I've been saying all the time, it's not the first time we've been in this country, brethren. Not even Windrush. And I've been saying that, and I listened to over the air this yesterday, and people coming, and have said group that's been influencing us for over 40 odd years, and now just realizing, we've been here before Windrush now, and what are they going to say? How come it didn't dawn on you as an influence in our community that we didn't just arrive on the Windrush? Why are you just teaching that then? And Black History is coming up. We had a good time last week, and we learned a lot, didn't we, about our presence here in Europe. You see what I'm saying? So it's this biased teaching. So we can safely conclude that some of these teachings from these little fringe groups are biased. If you listen to them, you become biased too. Now, what is their take on Bill Cosby? Straight away they say, and they try to find other men than black that are like, what's his name, the president there, who said I didn't touch her and read tear, and others. Just to what are we trying to rationalize and justify our self-same act? Then what if there's no difference between us in terms of a black doing these kind of things, where you would probably think black man don't do these kind of things, right? But as far as you're concerned, you're a victim, and it's this victim mentality that we hear from a lot of these little fringe groups that masquerade as liberation groups today. You know what I mean? So, okay, be with you shortly, folks.
From the west, texting, troubling you and flies on the
Testing one.
All night till the morning.
Okay. Testing 1, 2.
Oh, did you get them working?
They were working a minute ago. Yeah, okay.
Put your phone up, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want the headphones?
Um,
Yeah, check it because it's better for you. Can hear better. Right, we're just setting things up here again. How come I can't hear it through the booth? Testing 1, 2, 2, 2.
Can I have that crack?
2. Oh, yeah, there you are. It's better.
Definitely hear you now.
So you don't want me? I can have this.
I'm good.
Okay, right now.
It's not made for females.
This
Is
is
it?
what I'm saying to you.
It's okay, I'm versatile.
Hold it in.
I'm
Yeah.
a woman of the century, I can cope.
Okay, right on. Okay, so we're back here live again. We got the sister in
Oh, you've got my name again.
Neveyah.
After all these.
Is it Neveyah?
Oh,
Neveyah?
thank you. You
There you go. Or
remember.
Neveyah, which one?
Neveyah. You call me Nev, Neveyah.
It's a Neveyah.
Yeah.
Okay, Neveyah.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So how you doing? I know you wasn't too well the other day.
I'm not 100%, but you know,
Yeah, well,
you just got to get on with it, and you got to.
you don't want to just sit there and whittle,
No, man, you
whittle away.
No, you got to get on with life.
But not to your detriment, though.
Do you know what?
That's it.
You have the good, you have the bad. You just got to ride with the good, and you got to ride with the bad. And I'm,
Riding with it both.
you know what? I'm just riding high above.
Right on, right on.
Look very young. Have you had a shave?
Well, dear. I wouldn't have a shave because I took photos for my pass, for my security badge, and I'm thinking. He says, "Do you want? How about your face, your hair, face hair?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah. Do you want it removed? Yeah." Man took my tash off, brethren. You know what I mean?
No, but you look very. It's taken a good 10 years.
I don't want that. No, I don't. I don't man think I'm some little.
Oh, you no.
Ute,
You don't
you know what I
look
mean?
like no little ute.
Okay, that's cool.
But you look younger. You look good. It looks good. You look a proper gentleman.
I say what? Yes. Yeah, so it's all of that because I've been on a course for 6 weeks, as you know.
Okay. Oh, that gave you youth, yeah?
Huh? Yeah, it gave me that reinvigorated my life. I thought, it's not all over yet. Bar the shouting.
No, you got a lot more trouble to give.
Me?
Oh yeah.
Bad enough. To be honest with you, I'd rather just find some nice little quiet corner and just
Yeah.
chill out. But that's all going to happen once I get back into it.
Everybody's time comes, babes.
Yep, and it's just that I was funny when you was coming, you was saying something about what was the topic, and I said we haven't really laid one. I'm just discussing what's going on in the week, that Bill Cosby thing, how he got sentenced 3 to 10 years. You know what I mean?
Has he been sentenced?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been sentenced,
What did he get?
3 to 10 years.
What do you mean 3 to 10?
It all depends. I don't know what it means. 3 to 10 years.
Is
I
that
don't-
It's
all depends
America.
on-
It's America,
yeah,
right?
America. Yeah, man.
Okay, so at 3 years he can apply for parole.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so why?
So it's 10 years. I think he got basically.
Yeah, because it's if he doesn't pass parole, he's got to go to the 10 year. He can. I think it's every 3 years.
Oh no, they
You
apply
can-
for
but I think 10 years maximum.
So he could be out in 3.
It's a bit old to go jail.
If you be able,
It's a bit old to be going to jail,
yes,
isn't
he's
he?
70,
No, I think he's 81. I think.
81.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is
So,
he going to accomplish?
he'd be
What, he's already
91
lived
when he
his
come-
life.
That's not the point though. This is
No.
what I'm saying. The man, I was surprised, when I watched the documentary
Yeah.
on him, how amount of women that he, I don't know, it's madness, man. I'm thinking, no.
Do you know what?
And then my other instinct kicks in.
You're
Oh,
right.
he's black, and I'm thinking,
Okay.
is it
Do you know
is it
what?
taking advantage of him because he's black, or
I actually read a caption, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name. I was browsing through Facebook, and that's how I heard about Bill
Okay.
Cosby.
Okay.
And it had his picture, and it had a Caucasian guy underneath. And I was thinking, that's what drew my attention to it. When I clicked on it and I was reading it, it was saying that this other guy had raped multiple women,
Yeah.
and he got bail without, I think it was £25,000 bail, and he never got no prison sentence or anything like that. Yeah, and he wasn't made to sign a sex register. But Cosby now, he's committed. I don't know if he's committed these crimes, because obviously I'm not one of those women. Yeah, because some women are very wicked and some people are wicked and vindictive, and will say something happened that didn't happen. Yeah, but he got, I think it was 80, or no, it was a very large amount he had to pay. But they didn't even give him bail anyway.
It was 3 point something million.
But they didn't give him bail. So what was the point in that? And plus he got the prison sentence. Another guy must be a good 20, 30 years younger than him. Yeah. Obviously they're both famous, but one's white and one's not. But then,
so why didn't his lawyer refer to that then as a racist thing, to say, well, use him as an example? There's a man that's raped. I mean, we're not trying to excuse the rape thing.
but did he? Is there evidence?
Well,
Is there
obviously
evidence?
there is. A amount
No,
of
because
women
they're
that,
claiming some, not all, but they're claiming some.
Consensual.
Yeah.
But the amount of women that they said that came forward.
Yeah.
And,
why now?
This is 35 years. I don't know that.
Why now?
Yeah, 55. Somebody said if there wouldn't be any rape if women didn't report it for 55 years. You know,
I don't know. I just think it's a bit strange that why, because you know what, when it comes to rape victims, it's when you go and talk about it, it brings everything back up. Yeah, it literally. I've spoken to a lot of females, and males, because it does happen to males as well.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually know a few it has. And each time they spoke, they crashed. And what I mean by crashed, so everything come rolling back, and they broke down. So why would you've lived what 55 years, and then what you're gonna destroy your life? It's not that easy to be talking about those things. As much as how far it is, it has an effect. You can accept it, but it will never go away. You can forgive, but it will never go away. So why now would they choose to destroy their own? Obviously not all of them, but if they've got a heart, they've got conscience, and they're like, it's affected them to the level where he needs punishing, why now? And how do they tell who's telling the truth and who isn't? They can't, unless they're going to do lie detector.
Well, I don't know. It may be all that, but at the same time, that's why you have to rely on evidence.
But what evidence?
Cannot
55 years later,
cannot be forensic, because you know what I mean. But at the same time, I wasn't at the trial, so I wouldn't know how the prosecution,
well, of course not.
How the prosecution dealt with it, how they got to their conclusions. It was through jury, of course. The jury was the first time he was retried, isn't it?
Do you know what? I should have.
Because the jury couldn't reach a conclusion.
Why? Because they're not sure.
But so it's all of that. So I'm thinking, where do we draw the line here? I mean, is he? Well, obviously he's found guilty by the jury.
Okay.
So whatever we feel about it.
Okay.
But his lawyer says he's going to be fighting for his release and thing.
Of course.
So they might get compensation at the end of the day. But he's been. If we
Is
feel
he
it's
though?
been. Yeah, of course.
This stress could make someone pass away,
Yeah, but then his family could do the business, you know what I mean? Because that would be more powerful for them.
Well, then he's
sad.
gone.
Well,
there's no point in giving someone freedom if they ain't there to take it.
Yeah, but he's
okay, so let me ask you a question.
He had a good run.
Okay, so let me ask you a question as a woman to a man. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, obviously, what do you feel? Do you feel, because for all we know, they could have been in a relationship and he was a bit forceful, some of those women. I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. But what is your opinion on that? Do you think it's right?
When I look back in the days when I was younger.
Yeah. Back in the days.
Yeah, way back. Let's go back way back. So I'm thinking, when dealing with women, we there was a notion in my time that when a woman say no, she means yes. And that would.
But how did?
This is what I'm saying to you. So I'm saying it was a known thing amongst the youths then back. That's what we all discuss as brethren. And a lot of people do it.
I think it was just men in general.
Men in general used to feel, and women.
What? That when someone tells you no, they mean yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I'm telling you.
No.
Yes,
no.
Well, we'll see.
What if I wanted to have sexual relations with you and you told me no? What do you think I'm going to do? Go and drag off your trousers?
No, but if I continued, and this is how it used to happen back in the day. A lot of men out there would probably. Let's see if they would confirm this.
Confess.
And women also, if they're brave enough to confess, actually edge that on. And they would rather give in after they've been actually, miscalculated by the man. When you say, no, get off. You know what I mean? And they sort of look forward to that. Continuation, brethren.
The battle and the challenge.
Yes, and I said, well, I don't know. We'll see if the people.
Okay, you have some women.
If the people agree,
if you're into dominatrix and all of that sort of thing, then it would appeal to you, I suppose. But I'm sorry, if I'm in my bed and I'm sleeping, and a guy comes in, I don't care if it's my husband or not.
Yeah, but how old would you believe
and
that?
I've always believed that, and I've gone to my bed and pulling me, and I'm like, no, I'm tired, and the man is pulling me. I'm sorry. No. You never hear what I said. You don't see me sleeping. You know, I think you know when a woman means no.
No, but
You
there's
know,
some women
Yeah.
who don't want to say no to their man.
So why wouldn't
And
they
what
want to
they'll
say
do,
yes if they're any good?
You know, they say, all right, just please yourself. There's some women are like that, brethren.
Please yourself.
Yeah.
What's that?
Please yourself.
But surely that's degrading to some. So
No,
obviously,
no,
when I mean
it
degrading,
can't
I
be.
don't mean to the woman.
No,
let me finish.
Yeah.
I don't mean to the woman. What I mean is, obviously, at some stage, it must get. I know a guy who actually would talk to me. And it wasn't the same situation, but it was a case of he was saying to me that whenever he wanted to be intimate with his missus, at first it was fun, he said. Yeah, it was a nice. But then when you have a hard day's work and you come home, he said that like he just ain't down with that. Yeah, like when you're tired and you just want a bit of loving and whatever. So I said, well, how do you feel about that? He said, oh, you know, it just takes away that thrill, that buzz, that enjoyment. Yeah.
What, to force?
Yeah, no,
woman.
yeah. He
But
said it feels. You know what he said it feels like? He said it feels like raping your own woman, having to force yourself, having to constantly. He said if it was once or twice.
Yeah.
He said when you first met her.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But his words were, it feels like I'm raping my own woman.
And she don't mind.
Well, I don't know because
see?
I can't go to her and say, you know,
Well, obviously,
what, your geezer said to me. I can't do that.
But it's
Well, I
obvious.
can, but I
But it's obvious what that is because the man said he got tired of it. So after he'd done it, she didn't protest or phone the police or anything like that.
I did not.
Well,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
According to what the man is saying, he said after a while it becomes.
Yes, but that's
so
what I said.
he just
to
want a
you.
bit of loving when he comes home.
But it's
And-
degrading, not just
Well,
for
it's not
women.
really-
not just
but
for
it all
women.
depends on the individual, brethren. I don't think there's no standard when it comes down to love.
Well, you know what?
Behind closed doors. I mean, you know,
Obviously not.
there's no
obviously.
standards, brethren.
Yeah.
If some women don't feel like you're making love unless when they say no,
Okay.
you just turn your back and go sleep. That's it. Well, you know
Listen,
what I mean. You
there's
see what I'm
passion,
saying?
yeah.
You know who's gonna?
There's passion and there's ragdoll sex.
Yes,
Excuse
but
the expression.
some people like that.
Some people do, but what's
They
that?
like all this rough
What about
stuff.
difference?
So you got to give for that as well. Because at the end of the day, you have to give for that because
talking
they're
like as a man.
So if of course I'm talking like a man.
But I'm talking as a woman.
No, not every woman. I'm afraid. I know
I'm not
some
talking as
women.
every woman. No,
work
but
very
I did say not
Yes,
all,
so
not
you're
everybody.
not speaking for every woman.
No, I'm not speaking for. I'm not
Right,
speaking
so-
for everyone. I can only say what I think, what I've come across, and myself. Yeah, obviously from time to time, yeah, it's a laugh, it's a fun, but your man would know if you mean no. If when you say no, if it's a relationship and not a one night stand, your man would know when you say no, you're not interested. He would know the different types of no's you have to know whether to continue. Because if you tell a man forcefully, no, I'm not interested, I'm sorry, he knows you're genuine. Because unless you're some kind of psychopath, yeah, that is not going to be.
Yeah, but
the automatic should be.
Yeah, but
babes, what's wrong?
if you got no tact, and
Yeah.
so you know, a blatant and off the shoulder no without trying to coax. Oh, listen, babe, I'm sorry, we're not. You know what I mean? Come on, no, like I said, you're never a stranger. That will pee him off.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You got to use tact, brethren. You got to say to the man, listen, darling, not
Right.
tonight. I'm tired. See?
Sorry?
Yeah, see what I mean by
Listen
it?
to
See what I'm
you.
saying? Now hear you now. No.
No, I don't mean.
You know what I mean?
I don't.
Get your hands off or fling his hands
No,
off
but
him.
the women do talk like some women. Come on, it's not all men that act like men. You know, you have
Yeah.
got women out there that act like men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. So when you say
Yeah, but when it's sexual, it's
Yeah.
a different.
she have to
kind
be
of-
tactful when she say no.
Why?
Don't see you saying why?
Why?
So you just think a blanket no is good enough for a man.
Listen,
But you're not thinking about a
Let me
man's
tell you something
feelings,
now.
brethren. Because don't forget.
I
Let
know.
me finish.
yeah,
A man could come from a relationship, right?
yeah,
Where he's had bare that,
yeah,
right? And he's
You say with a smile, yeah.
and it's bringing back bad memories for him. He could have had a traumatic relationship.
Right. That's similar to rape.
Right. So no, his wife was telling him no from a long time, and
Yeah.
every time she'll kiss her teeth, and when a man just wants to make love to his wife, yeah, and she's probably got problems herself, and
Maybe.
and then so when he broke up with that woman, now he goes to
Yeah.
the next woman,
Yeah.
and obviously,
And he wants to rock and roll.
No. They would talk and they would discuss what previous relationships they had. 'Cause
You assume?
we do that.
No. Because some
What are you
people
talking
don't.
about?
Some people don't. Some people
What?
don't.
You don't just can't pick up a woman and don't never talk about their previous relationship.
Why not? It's not your business.
It is.
The
because
past
you
is
want to
the
know-
past.
No, you want to know what kind of woman you got.
No.
So hold on, but this is what actually happened, because men, when they leave relationships,
Yeah.
they carry holdovers with them.
Some men.
Well, what your depends if your relationship was traumatic.
And
things like that. So
Yeah.
suppose he had a traumatic relationship with someone
Yeah.
who keep refusing him.
Yeah.
Well, to him for no apparent reason and thing like that, and
Well, there must be a reason. There's always a reason.
Well, yeah, but she may not exhibit that reason.
Yeah.
It might be psychological for her. She might be.
Or they just there's lack of communication.
Well, and he leaves that relationship and goes to another one.
Yeah.
He probably, if he didn't tell the woman what went on before.
Why?
In his relationship. Because I mean, as you say, you don't discuss that. I find that weird.
No, I said some don't.
Well,
some don't.
I find that very weird. I mean,
Why?
at some point you would talk about what who he was
Why?
going. Because this is the way. So you're telling me you've never talked about.
Babes, listen to me.
So you've never talked about anybody.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
It's madness, Frederick.
First of all, for me, I'm not an insecure person. Anybody can tell you anything. If I don't know you and I've just met you and you're telling me about past relationships or whatever, you could be being dishonest. You can tell me. You could tell me. And now, hang on. You'll understand. Yeah, you could tell me anything. Because there's men out there that go on like they're like the biggest porn star ever. This time, you can't even watch a porn with that person. Yeah, but for me personally, I don't believe No, there's a time in a relationship when you discuss certain things. You don't sit down and, as far as I'm concerned,
it comes out naturally, because when you're talking about, well, I'll tell you what, mate.
It's nobody's business, really.
It's not a matter of
the past,
that. You can't.
You see, this is where a lot of relationships go wrong.
Nah.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because if you've got a guy and he's a jealous guy, yeah. All right, let me give you an example. Yeah. Years ago, because I've been single for a very long time, yeah. Years ago, I was dating this guy. I knew him for about 8-9 years, and then we started to get to know each other and everything. And on the phone, it kind of got a bit boring, because on the phone 24/7, he's at work and he's phoning me, obviously because he was able. In the evening, he's phoning me, and we was talking and whatever. And we started. It was a thing where he was talking about past relationships. Yeah. Now, I'm a person. I'm not going to prejudge you, because your past is your past. Do you understand? Some people change, because obviously there's a lot of people, they do things when they're young and they change when they're older. But now, when I mentioned a name, he didn't know the person, but just the mere mention of a male name to a jealous person, yeah, it just sets a downscale.
Okay, let me just read the text here coming from 177.
Yeah, you say with a smile.
Afternoon, Heru. Bill Cosby's downfall was his own disposition from 2005, where he admitted sedating women he wanted to have sex with. They used his own confession against him. Black or white, you can't
That's
go
wrong.
around
Yeah.
sedating and raping women, then making recorded admission, and yet not expect it to come around to bite you.
Why would you want to sit down
This
with
is what
someone?
I'm saying to you. When you were saying in the beginning, where you thought maybe
not all,
they weren't, but I was saying to you, not whether you're black or white. If you go around doing these things, so I don't know why.
No, but I wasn't aware of the sedation.
If I disagreed with, because I was saying that regardless of his color, and you was making a point where with the white man who raped, and wasn't even on a register.
Obviously, both should be punished. My point was both should be punished.
So
both.
But we then went on to talk about relationship in terms of you asked me what I think, and I said to you, I remember when I was younger, back in the day, I wouldn't do it now, but back in the day as young men,
with a frown,
it was a known thing, brethren, that to say when a woman says no, it meant yes. I want people out there who remember those times.
But that don't make sense.
Do you remember? Is anyone out there remember those times
when you tell a man no, you don't want to dance, and then still they're dragging on your skirt?
About dance.
No, but it's not. But it's not a different thing.
It is, because
it's not.
You can
you're saying
visibly say no.
No,
but in a sexual encounter, right, and where you are actually party to it in a sense, and you say no, and if I didn't follow on, the woman say
no. But I think
what kind of South man is this?
It does come in the same context. Do you know why I say it comes in the same context? Because you said when a woman says no, she means yes.
As
But why
according to sex
no. But listen,
only.
not necessarily.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
It's
about.
all. I think it's all interlinked because I remember one time I went to the Walmer Castle back in the day, and this guy asked me to dance, and I said no, and the man was still pulling me. Yeah, because remember, you see now dancing is different. Now everybody just dances with everybody. Back in the day, it was more sensual. No, hang on. And what happened was somebody else pulled me, and those two men, in mind, I didn't know either one. They started fighting. Yeah, I said no, but as far as they were concerned, it was yes, because one had bought me a drink, so he had assumed. Yeah, no, it is kind of a similar thing.
No, it's not really. Because,
No, it is.
No, because
It is.
No, because I've never had that experience. When a woman said no in a dance, you just
That's
don't
you,
dance, brethren.
mate, that's
but
you.
I'm talking about in a sexual encounter, in a relationship as well. You know, not
No,
just
but
not
remember
just
we
a
were
one night
also
stand.
talking about
In a relationship,
getting to know people.
yeah, but in a relationship, as what we knew back in the day,
Yeah.
that it was usually when we talk
What do you class as a relationship?
as man to man, we talk and say, yeah, man. When,
Okay.
when a woman says no,
That's not a
yeah, I forgot
relationship,
your-
man-to-man
yeah,
conversation.
Yeah, but we're talking about relationships.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm saying that back in the day, and I'm waiting for people to confirm if they remember.
Don't you dare.
I'm
Don't you
not.
dare.
I'm not the only one. I'm sure.
Do you know what? I remember.
If you remember that, you
Yeah.
can call.
I do remember guys saying
Let
that.
me give you the hotline number one more time. Numbers are 07404
Yeah.
367618, and I repeat. You repeat.
07404 367 618.
Right, if you can remember those times when we had it as that, and as a youth, you know,
Do you
and
think that was right?
well, put it this way, there was no complaints from any police, no rape charge.
They
you
didn't
know.
call the police for anything back
Yeah.
then, even like being attacked on the
Yeah,
in the
but
road.
they never complained that it was rape, brethren.
Maybe not to you.
Well, no, because we.
No, what I don't
still
mean
see-
you directing to you.
No,
Like,
but
because when
we never had that
myself
problem.
as females, when we would have our little conversations,
Mhm.
yeah, because you know the boy conversation thing does happen on our female side,
Mhm.
and when you'd sit and talk, well, I'm one. I to be quite honest, I would laugh because I would say, well, hang on a minute. If you're saying you didn't like it, and this person's roughing you up and whatever, and then what? You're going to go back and lay down with the brother again?
That's what I'm saying to you.
That
because
make
not
no
only
sense.
one encounter.
But quote what I said.
Mm.
Didn't like it. Because back in the day, remember, there was that thing where, like, I'm the man. The man controls the relationship, runs the relationship. You know, if a woman back in the day was a bit too masculine or too outspoken, it was an attraction. It was that draw to you sort of thing. Do you understand? Because if you remember, people say, "Yeah, man, she's a challenge." That was
Yeah,
back
but
in the day.
my back in the day is a lot different from your back in the day.
This is-
Because when I was a
Yeah.
teenager, you wasn't. There's a twinkle in your
Not when you was a teenager.
Yes, what do you mean?
Not when you was a teenager.
I'm telling you, when I was a
No,
teenager.
I'm not talking about when you was a teenager.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Them days there, and
Okay.
when I was a teenager, you was a twinkle in your grandfather's eye.
Okay, so
So
what
my
about,
back in the day is a lot
Okay,
more different from your back in the
so
day,
what
brethren.
about when you came out of that teenage stage and went into the
Adult stage.
young adult, not the,
Mm.
the young adult stage, because obviously you're an adult now. Isn't it?
Well,
But
I was,
the
I
young
was
adult
married
stage.
at 21, brethren. I was married at
Yeah.
20, actually.
Okay.
I was in the church, and I did the right thing.
What you think
I had-
that?
had
What
children
was it? Why did you add that?
in wedlock?
Why did you add that? Because I was in the church.
Yes, let's
Yeah,
show you I wasn't.
that's not- why is that
I
the right
wasn't-
way?
I wasn't barbarian.
Oh, you're funny.
Is
Okay,
it?
and
Our
when your
children
relationship,
wedlock.
when your relationship dissolved,
Yeah.
yeah, then you became single again.
Yes.
What then?
Well, this is it. I had holdovers from relationship, from that
Okay.
relationship, proper
Oh.
holdovers.
Speaking from
See?
the heart.
Yeah, so I had a bit of problem
Okay.
in
In that department.
that department there when it came
Okay.
down to other women. Because in the church, you can't
Okay.
commit adultery, brethren.
You're not supposed to commit adultery in the
No,
church or not.
You're not supposed to. What do you mean?
Well, even if you don't go to
you
church,
think-
you're not supposed to commit adultery.
Why? It says who? You think,
Well,
you think the
well, it says
outside?
who?
You think,
Oh my
you think
God.
the outside world business with that, brethren?
Listen,
You think the business with adultery
No, that's
and
wrong.
things like that?
adult.
No,
let
come
me
on.
just say, people out there, you women and you men, it is not okay to. It happens, but it's not okay.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry.
Listen, there's no
Who
law.
wants to date someone sleeping with Jane, Sally?
But
and,
that's the way it is, brethren. That's the way
no,
it goes.
it's not
'Cause
though.
you slip. Don't forget, you know.
Not always.
Always, because
You try and say there's no good men out there.
no, it's not a matter of good or bad. What it is,
Yeah.
by the time he reached a certain age, he would have gone for a whole heap of women, brethren.
You may.
You
have
see
gone
me?
for a
Oh,
whole
no,
heap
no,
of
no.
women.
Listen, no, but this is a fact. Because we're all in a relationship, and if we, unless you were kind of a nerdish, you know what I mean, and only have one or two women, that means you know. When we used to look at that, if a man don't, I'm talking about back in the day, you know, if a man,
If a man wasn't a male,
they call it what do they call it? A coxman. Then, if you wasn't, see all them terms, you don't know them terms.
yeah, I do know coxman, gallus.
Yeah,
I
man.
know it all.
But
I'm
the
not
gallus
that young.
was a gallus was an evolution of
Yeah.
coxman. So if
I
you
knew
never
some
had more,
gallus men back then.
Listen, if you didn't have
Yeah.
more than one woman back in the day as a youth,
And you think that's right?
you're soft. You can't.
Why does that make you soft?
You're not a coxman, innit?
So
This or gallus, that what them call them. That. But I'm talking about
is that
because in the world there's no notion of like, unless you was in a church where you say you can't even have sex before marriage. You think anybody worry about that nowadays, brethren?
Yeah, I know people who do.
Nah.
I actually know
They
people.
must
who
be in the
do.
minority.
Why are they in the minority?
Because
Why
they
is
are.
it so wrong to
Because
actually believe that there
but
are men out
you
there
can
that are
believe
prepared
what
to
you
wait?
like, but it's not. They're not in the majority. You see, so don't make it like it's a norm. It's not a bloody norm. Compared,
Actually, do you know what?
it's not a norm. It's not a norm.
I know some guys who are 20, 23.
Something wrong with them,
26.
brethren. I don't know.
Why? Because they want to wait. Because they want to wait for that special someone.
Oh, come on, they're living in a dream world. Because
Whether they're living in a dream world or not.
but at the end of the day,
You're wrong.
if they are, then they
That's
have
not
to be
nice.
in the minority. You know, we're not looking brownie points here.
No, of course not.
We're looking reality here.
I am talking
We're
reality.
talking reality.
Oh
and
my
and
days.
if there were people like that, then again, as I say,
Yeah.
you know, growing up in
Your crew, your group,
Well,
your area
yeah.
of socialization.
yeah,
Yeah.
and unless we don't if you had any religious notion, then that would be the case for some people because they've been taught by their parents
Well, maybe guys
like that.
Maybe
You
guys like
understand?
that is what brought about celibacy.
This is what I'm saying. I don't. Who wants to be? Who wants to
Because
do that?
nowadays there's a lot of females, and there are actually a couple of males that I know who are celibate.
And you know why they're celibate? Because
Yeah,
they're
because of
outnumbered.
coxmen.
No, they're outnumbered.
Not because they're
10 to
outnumbered.
yes.
Why
There's
is
more.
it because
There's
they're
more
outnumbered?
women. There's more
Do you know
women.
what?
There's more women
Yeah.
than men.
I know
So-
you have strong views
so,
on that
yeah,
subject.
you're damn right.
So, no,
celibacy
you're
is
talking about
not
personal view.
It's self-inflicted.
No, it's not
It's
inflicted.
not self-inflicted.
Why is it self-inflicted?
It's not, I mean, it's not self-inflicted. It's of necessity.
What do you
Because
mean
they're not a
necessity?
man. So them turn to.
What? Because you don't need something.
They don't have a man
Because they
can't
don't want one.
No, well, who doesn't? Which woman don't want a man?
I don't. And I don't want no woman either. You know, sometimes why can people
No,
not just be content with
No,
life?
because that's not the way things run.
And?
I mean, the Creator said He created man for women.
When it comes
See?
to, hang on a minute. When it comes to being a coxman, even though I'm sure it says in the Bible, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." Hang on, commit adultery. Yeah, it's okay to be a coxman and have multiple, but it's not okay to be a female or a male and just not feel the need, not be bothered. I know as a fact that that's a thing, strong view you got, so don't bother start screw up that face at me. But you've got to open your heart to the facts of reality.
That's not reality.
Some people, no, it is, because some people just.
Well, that's because
sometimes you go through life and you see, like for me as a mother, yeah, no, it's not problematic. Why is it problematic?
Because it is.
Why?
Why
Because
you
I'm
arrive at that
content.
conclusion?
Because why? Because a woman can be content or a man can be content. Sex is not, and it is. You know what I think it is? I think it's different how I think what happens is it's different when your view on sex is an issue. If sex, being intimate is a special thing. To me, it's a special thing. It's a way of showing someone how you feel about them. Yeah? You don't, I may be a big ass woman, but what? Maybe one day.
If you go with a man now,
yeah,
and you're not going to be, you're going to be like frigid, innit?
What do you mean frigid?
Because if you're going to look at sex like that, when he comes to approach you and you go, I'm not, there's no fire there, brethren. What happened to the fire? The fire gone out.
No, brethren, you're mad.
Your stove has gone out, brethren. Your libido is dead.
No, it's not. A man just needs to take his box of matches out of the glass of water.
No. Because if I go out with a woman, and she's not,
there's other ways.
No,
do you know what?
Other ways to do it.
Do you know what it is? No, I wasn't talking about that. I don't know what you're talking about. What I was going to say, there's other ways to woo a woman. There's other ways. No, listen. There's other ways to rekindle that little draw. You see, it depends. If you're a person who is sexually attracted, breasts or bottom or whatever, then that's different. If you're a woman that looks at a man and you see some women like men with bottoms, some people like eyes, smile, whatever, when you meet somebody and there's something that catches your eye, and I'm not talking about shape, because somebody can have the best body and have the best looking face, but it don't mean that they've got that special something. Do you understand? It's just, I don't see the point in eating the whole basket of fruit, before I find the one that's ripe enough. I would rather wait, get to know people, because for me, I'm a personality girl. But when you've got things going on for you, sometimes it's just not. It's not a necessity.
See, the thing is, there was all this idea that there was a man out there for you. What give people that notion? The way I see it,
you said there's loads.
You have to make that person. You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
He's not ready made for you. See,
no, but it is.
See, no, it's not. Says who?
No, but
where'd you get that notion from, brethren?
Okay, listen. Don't you bother do the man challenge woman.
Where you get that notion
that would
from,
really enjoy
brethren?
that. Listen, okay.
Where did they come from? There's a man waiting out there for you.
No, I believe. No, listen.
If you know, I make them.
There is. You're funny. We're not run factory.
You have to make them, brethren.
No, listen. I can meet you. Well, I met you years ago. Yeah. No, listen. I'm just using you as a prime example because you're here.
Don't.
So
I'm
going to. Yeah. So say for instance, like me and you, we've been friends for years, and then people change as they grow older. Yeah. So you could grow, and evolve into, like, you're a man already. But if you was younger, you grow, you learn. We all learn and live, and then you change as a person, and then your personality. It draws. Do you understand? It's about all the time. It's not about what somebody looks like. Sometimes it's about who the person is inside. Do you understand? And it's not about a case of but maybe it's just me. But I know a lot of women that they want to know the person. They want to know. No, listen, don't screw up your face. Because when you get to a certain age, it's not about the thrill. It's not about the buzz. It's not about he's really good in bed, and that if the personality, if you're not compatible personality wise as well as sexual wise, what kind of relationship is that? You want a friendship as well as a lover.
Well, that comes with time.
No, but this is why you get to know the person.
As an experienced man.
Experience.
Yes, experienced man. Let me tell you.
You say that. Okay.
Comes with time. That part what you're talking about comes with time.
No.
Because if you're with a person for 10, 15 years, right? Yeah. You notice the first love it has to be compatibly sexually, because if you meet somebody,
you don't
let's be honest with ourselves, right?
With yourself.
Because you tend to live
with yourself.
You tend to want to paint a picture that don't exist, brethren.
Why? Because you don't believe that. That's wrong.
No, because there is no notion in this society, right? That like maybe in other societies where some African societies as well, where puberty is recognized, and you got initiation into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so they're not really sexual. In the West, growing up in the West, you grow up in a, what do you call it there? We call that.
How can you put being promiscuous?
Hold on. Promiscuous society. This is a promiscuous society. This is a hedonistic society. Right, anything goes.
Is it really?
So of course, in the society, it's what society. No. In some other African societies, you wouldn't touch a woman for only for procreation reasons. You see, but this is a hedonistic.
So what are you saying? They don't have women undercover?
Perverted society, brethren.
You're saying they don't have women undercover now?
All right, let me show you something. When you get married over here, what happens? They got to love a long time, brethren. These Europeans have a thing they call lovers. They don't like not celibates. What's that? They don't like polygamy. They don't want to be. They claim they're not polygamous before marriage, but as soon as they're married, they got a love around the back there. That's what we know Europeans for.
But
they might have lovers, brethren.
Do you know what I believe?
Even on a wedding night.
Let me tell you something now. You know what? As a woman, let me tell you what I think about those men and those women. Yeah, that's sad. And let me tell you what I said. And I don't care if anybody thinks I don't live in a realistic world. Yeah, but this is what I believe. If a man or a woman has a partner, be it a boyfriend, be it a lover, be it a husband, if you've got to go and be sleeping with somebody else, then you're not with the right person. Because if that person can't keep you happy in every way, no.
But it's not been a reality in your lifetime, though. It might be a reality
lifetime?
now.
In whose
but
lifetime?
When you
don't play with me. When it comes to them things, I don't play about. I'm sorry. I don't. I haven't got time for it.
So, all right, let's see. Let's give the numbers out one more time. Let's see if anyone wants to
prove this man wrong.
No, I don't know. But they remember those times. Obviously, we've got a big age difference.
Well, it's not that big. About 10 years?
That's a wally per years, brethren. It's not that
about
big.
10 years.
Yeah, it's very. When I was 10, you weren't even.
How old are you now?
Oh, I'll be telling.
I know how old you are.
I know you're not.
I just want you to see if you say
I know
it.
a big thing. I'm not retired yet, put it that way, but not far from that. So I'm thinking, okay, in terms of Bill Crosby, man with money.
Okay.
Well,
money or no money.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. After rape women.
But obviously, if he enjoyed it, because if he's
it's
sedating,
got to be a perversion.
If he's sedating someone on a different women on a regular basis to be intimate with them, obviously that attraction has something to do with the fact that they can't move.
Oh, I had a text here from, you know who.
Because if you think about it, yeah, if you want to sedate somebody and they can't function, that's dead weight, right?
Here's a text says, Bill Crosby, it's from recent. Let me go goggles. I think he said Bill Crosby will be exonerated. Not a race in the first. I don't know. Let me see. Come back here, you. Bill Crosby will be exonerated.
Why?
I don't know. Well, that's what he seems to think. So, if those out there think that Bill will be exonerated, who knows? You never know. But I'm thinking in terms of relationships, there is always that element that you don't really know. People will do what they need to do. People will, in terms of intimacy. I know some women that will, if she said no, she won't say no to a man.
Why?
But you said no straight away because you got that.
Well, yeah, if I don't find someone attractive, I'm not.
No. I say you're with somebody.
It doesn't matter. You don't just because you're in a relationship. It don't mean say you always find that person sexually attractive.
Do you know? I know someone who's never said no.
Well, more for them, innit?
No, what's it for?
Well,
see, man. They value their man, and they think, well, if I'm saying no to him, you go and get someone. You go outside and get someone else.
If you say no to your man and he gets someone else, then he's not your man, is he?
But you're more draconian in your approach. I think you're very draconian in your attitude and approach.
Yeah, but it's a man. It's a man that made me the way I am.
You see what I mean?
No, because remember what I said. No, hang on. Remember what I said. I said when I was growing up, I never saw. I've always been an observant person. Yeah, and I used to. I was one of these people that if I went to a club or a pub or a bar or whatever, I would always watch people. People used to just, I don't know if they thought I was weird, but I would observe people and their behaviours. And I would watch men going like between 2-3 women, men trying to chat me up, and then where I'm saying, look, I'm not interested. One of my friends, I actually said to her, can you swap places? Because this man is chatting a load of faff in my ear, yeah? She swapped over and then he started talking in her ear and I was thinking, nah, she can't be that dumb. And then she disappeared with the geezer for 3 days. Like, no.
But you said something that gave the game away. You said man has made you this way.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I'm
so
saying.
it's not
From
it's
my
not
observations, growing up, I'm talking about.
really through observation.
Yeah, because you
I
know
can't
what?
you can't make you that way through observation.
I
Bridget.
did.
Because I'm thinking that man turned that way because they were,
Well, what?
they were, whatever with you, but
No.
So it's just a matter of observation.
Yeah.
Make it turn that way.
Yeah, because growing up from a child, I'm talking about from a child. Yeah,
never had no-
seeing hostile people in hostile relationships and things as a child. The thing is, a lot of people think that when you're young, you see things as a kid and you observe and whatever, and it doesn't have an effect. Because you're young. But you'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised. So for me, I always was very cautious.
So you've never had any bad experience with man.
Yeah, of course, I've had a bad
Right.
experience. Not
Yeah,
not
that's
for
what I
it to
said.
warrant my
So-
choice. Not on that side. Because do you know what? I don't give a damn. You can laugh all you like. Because you know what? We two totally different circles. We grew two totally different circles and totally different environments. Yeah.
Okay.
And men were not. See, the thing is, men were not and never have been. Neither were boys. When I was 13, I was more interested in climbing trees. Yeah. That was my interest.
What about your mum and dad? Did you get any influence from there?
From their
was your
relationship?
father? Yeah. Well, how was your father with your mother? You know what I mean?
I learned from observation. I learned what I saw was when you tend to challenge, the argument will escalate, and not just from my dad, but just in observation. My family were all overseas, so I couldn't really talk too much about what's going on. But I'd watch females with females; they'd be fighting over men, and the men standing there and laughing and watching like at parties. Like my mum, we used to go to a lot of gatherings, like family gatherings, friend gatherings, and I would observe. All the kids would be in one room and all the adults would be in the hallway, and you'd see them talking fine. Then you'd obviously, when I was young, I didn't know it was flirting, but you'd see the women would be flirting with others men, and then the men would be laughing, and rather than putting saying to the woman, look, no, stop it, because everything was within earshot. Yeah. And then you just see them all fighting on the floor, dragging each other, and I was thinking, I was saying to myself, you know what, I'm not fighting nobody for nobody. I'm not fighting nobody for no man. I'm not fighting nobody for no boy. Because if you got to go and fight somebody for some man, and then what? You get locked up and the man's gone with the woman anyway. Nah. I've always valued myself. Do you understand? And I think that's what it is. As I've got older, I learned what self-worth was. And this is
exactly what I'm saying. During the time of growing up,
yeah,
you would have gone through all those notions, what I was talking about earlier.
I don't know about that, because I've never told a man no and meant yes. No,
but I mean, you don't have to. There's non-verbal as well as
listen,
verbal. You know, the non-verbal.
No. Body language is body language. There's negative body language as well as positive body language. Keep your legs crossed. Keep your underwear pulled up tight. Put some big pajamas on. With a dressing gown.
Well, see, I said, if you've never been violated, I know there's some people that have been violated. This hence what happened to Bill Crosby there after 55 years, brethren.
But what could you
just... You see what I'm trying to say?
Just off your head, it doesn't... Why? Like, when somebody's sedated, they can't... What are they doing? Moaning and groaning and, like, can't really... Obviously, they can move, but not really...
It's a perversion, as far as I'm concerned, for him.
Yeah, but would that mean he would, like, fornicate with a dead person?
Probably. This is what I'm saying. So, according to what the judge was saying, they call him a sexual predator.
Well, he is a predator, because if he's,
you know what I mean?
If he's observing and then thinking, yeah, I know that person's going to tell me no, and then he's giving then he's sedating them, like, and for him to sedate them, some of them must have actually been his friends.
They said they can give him counselling for the rest of his life.
Counselling for what?
Because he's predatory.
But
you know what I mean. So because
the thing is, how does he
wants to,
you know what?
Because he enjoys having sex with sedated people. Because she said
just means he's got issues. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. So well, he's a predator.
That predator hunts. Remember,
and he was doing that.
Was he though?
Yes. How much woman him have? How much woman?
That doesn't have it. You just said that when you got loads of women. Minus, if he didn't have to sedate them, what would you call him, a cox man?
Yeah, but he didn't have to sedate them.
Well, obviously they would have told him no, because he wouldn't have sedated them otherwise.
I don't think that was the case. I don't think they would have said no.
You don't know that though.
Well,
not everybody's hungry for fame and money.
When he was younger, he was a good-looking man, innit?
Was he?
And, yeah, had money, man. And had loads of money and thing like that.
If you say so.
So, I don't know if You're live on Genesis.
Seriously, why you keep on saying, why do I keep on hearing sedated? Because what's going on, man?
Mm-hmm.
Who is sedated?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Yeah, when you talk, I don't understand. What's the sedated business? What's going on there?
Sedated means
Because we are sedated.
well, he was giving them drugs, isn't it?
As far as how I understand it, he's giving a thing called quaaludes. That is for that quaaludes. I don't know what quaaludes are, but I've never been described as no sedative.
Well, according to what the woman was saying, what I read, she said she wasn't able to move. She can't, she couldn't,
Listen, man, you know something, yeah? Right now, this is starting to be questioning people, right? Yeah, about those ones who came, who go back how many times? Understand what I'm saying to you? The victim, how many times? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because if you get burned in a fire,
You don't go back.
understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
How are you going to be going back if you can get burned in a fire again?
Thank you.
And some of these people are used to going back into the fire and getting burned. And then 30, 40 years later, and this is when they can, took advantage of it. Listen, that's part of the game and part of the learning thing. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? So, I'm not really in a bill costing myself because in under the bus for the people then. And then now you see that the same people then, you understand, is looking for diamond. You understand? They're trying to get to his $500 million dollar legacy that's tied up in trusts and all of them things there. Yeah, so these are the kind of things that can break into the trust and empty it out. So if he's dead in jail, you understand? Yeah, then the family still won't get his money he's worked for and done whatever he's done for. You know what I'm saying? But let's stop. Yeah, let's follow the narrative of sedation. You know, that's what I'm saying to you. Yeah, because as far as I understand, sedate and the prelude to the reaction that some people would have used. You understand, right? It would be like, like how certain people would have drink all the alcohol and alcohol they feel a certain way.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Right? As you're talking about relationships, you're talking about men and women. This has been a well-known thing from a long time. You understand the idea of you get with a woman drunk or get her tipsy. You understand? Some woman go on a certain way when they get tipsy. Prelude might have worked and seem to have worked the same way. So how they turn it into sedative and going on like these women then were knocked out, they were zombies, pulverized, that kind of things there. The other thing they're working on. They got some drugs that they've been using for a longer time. They've also been exposed recent. Yeah? We're going to call it date rape drug, right?
Yeah.
We're just hearing about that over the past, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how long that drug has been around?
Yeah, because I remember seeing it on movies back in the day.
Yeah.
Been around for a while.
You get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think they're a different thing, you understand? You're talking about giving somebody a drug and they do not have a clue what's happened to them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? So they walk around and have no memory of what has happened to them. So even a brother talking on YouTube who was in the business in terms of the music business. And he says that some of them artists, they can't even talk. You understand? Because they get invited to certain interesting parties. You know what I'm saying? To drink their champagne and their things because they want to be in. This is life. You understand? Somebody slip something in their drink. Next minute they don't know what's going on. The minute they open up their mouth, they're threatened with, don't say nothing, or else people are going to see this.
Yeah.
And then they show them some things that they're like, right, they didn't have no idea what happened to them. You understand?
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, let's keep the narrative of realities and not following the narrative. The sedative business, you understand?
Yeah.
It's a joke.
So what do you think? Do you think he's guilty then?
You know something? What I think what I think here is that right now they're trying to give them a living hell.
Mm.
You understand? That's what I see. Yeah, they're trying to destroy the man's image, and the man's image has been destroyed. You know, the amount of money that he's donated to colleges, the amount of his material and stuff that he's donated to colleges, he's donated about 150 million to colleges. You understand? They want to burn his stuff, but they don't want to give him his money back. Well, if you're done it to this, and I tell you what, give back everything then, innit? Don't just throw away everything and keep the money. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? In the offering, son. Yeah? Right?
Okay.
And say it was at a point when he might try to buy a certain network and he might talk. Cosby Show was the most popular show, you understand, back in the day. People asked Simpsons, yeah, to compete with Cosby Show.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Money, man.
You understand what I'm saying? To just switch the message. You understand? Because certain positivity and images, what they were presenting in the Cosby Show. You understand? Some of the stuff what Bill's done back in the day, you know what I'm saying to you, in terms of for his people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's done some big and great things, but in my opinion, you understand? Yeah, they could have killed him, but this is how they work, innit? They don't kill you because they know that you don't care. You've worked your whole life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. If they kill off the youth now, kill off somebody in your family, and you have to live with that. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's a different argument. And then when he was grieving for his son, that's when they tried to blow up all the women in his life as well. So him and his family, his wife, couldn't even grieve. The same thing down there, his daughter did the other day. That's the same thing again, produce one bag of woman that he's been having affairs with from way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he's got what some people would consider a strong black woman wife beside him, you understand what I'm saying to you? Because she was one, he wanted to just be a chauffeur. You understand?
He did what?
The Cosby's. When he was writing the show,
Yeah.
Cosby's, yeah, he wanted to play like a chauffeur.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So his wife was like, no, forget that, man. You understand? You're better. You understand? And his wife's a lawyer. You understand? Raise the thing, man. And I see what is that idea. So part of the destroying of him is to destroy her as well. And she's the backbone of that, brother. You can see anytime you come out in public. You understand? This is why when he come downstairs and he talk certain jokes, he's out his wife. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah?
Okay.
They got a brother. When they came off the sun, they got a brother to just basically put his hands up and say, yeah. Everybody was that it wasn't that brother. The story is that the car had a blowout and he basically was changing a tire on the on freeway, but that they knew that wasn't true because the Max, what his son at that time had flat and dry flat tires in. I mean, in drive and puncture like that. You understand? You can drive for a whole heap of miles with your tire. You do not need to be stopping on the deserted sideways and where a white woman called him out of the house. You understand? To disappear and all kinds of things. You understand? So basically, he's a brother that we had to watch him destroying his image. Yeah. Right
Okay.
in front of
all right.
the people's in face. Yeah. But Bill aside. Yeah. Heru, I'm not gonna lie, you know, but I said never you make me laugh still, you know, when you're talking about relationships, you know.
Hold on. Say that again. Go on. Repeat that.
I said when you're talking about relationships, yeah, I caught all of what you said, yeah, but when you're talking about relationships, you kind of make me laugh still, you know.
Well, what that?
Because you sound kind of draconian still, you know,
me sound draconian? I thought she sounded more draconian than me.
Yeah, man.
Draconian? Really?
Yeah, man. I understand, right? Because this is the thing what's getting people in fucking yard about now, isn't it? You know, and the idea that a woman is always going to be ready to lay down with a man and should always lay down with a man. I'm not saying that you exactly said that.
Yeah, but is that the impression I give, that the woman's going to be ever ready to lay down? But listen, but you have to think about a relationship, you know. If a woman's not going to be ready to lie down with you, you're gonna have mega problems, aren't you?
Why?
Because
This is what I'm saying to you, yeah? This is what I'm saying, yeah? Yeah, it's about compatibility, yeah?
Yeah, I know all of that.
And some people like different things. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, yeah? So, like, for instance, now, right? You would have a woman, right, that she ain't really into the sex thing, yeah? And you're not going to be banging there for 20 minutes, half hour, 2 hours, whatever, yeah? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but listen, so, it's easy to say that, but what I'm saying is, right, then she can't really be worried about him having a relationship outside. If she's not...
some of them don't.
I know, some of them don't.
Some of them don't, yeah? Some of them don't. and if a man was to find a compatible one,
yeah,
that will accept that. You understand what I'm saying to you? If he's happy, then he should be happy.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying to you? It's about finding compatibility.
Right.
For man and goes for women. It's about compatibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, if I marry a woman now and she's not really sexual to that, she probably wants it once a week.
Yeah, but you'd know that before.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. Well,
of course, if you're getting married.
Exactly.
No. If
You're supposed to know that before.
No, but listen.
Before you put the ring on the finger.
No, because if you're in a church situation, you cannot have sex before you're married, brethren.
No, well, this is what I'm saying. This is
So-
why so much confusion then.
No, you have to go buy a puss in a bag. That's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have to go buy. Well, this is if you're a Christian, right? If you're other faiths, you cannot have sex. You can't test that merchandise, brethren. So you
This is what I'm
don't.
saying, yeah?
You don't
This is what I'm saying,
know.
yeah?
You sound so old school.
Did sex and women come before Christianity or any religion?
Exactly, but if you're in a religion, especially Christianity,
No, but this is what I'm saying. When you're in a things, then you're in a things, innit? And if you then call to our guana, where bring their wife amongst them certain, and then can't sleep with them, but the cult is gone, I can sleep with the wife then. It depends what you're in about.
no, but you can't do that, brethren. You cannot. Listen, God, I watch you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are some certain man, listen, brother. There are some certain man, you know, them like them woman go out and get.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, brother.
Really?
You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah, and bring them home and that man just sit down and just watch.
What?
What you mean, bro? There's all kinds of people.
So I'm saying different varieties of perversion. Yes.
Why is it a perversion?
So this is why, you know, attraction ain't enough when you think about, even though there's an attraction in terms of see what you see and you like what you see. You have to go deeper than that. Brother.
Yeah, but see, if I wasn't in the church,
You understand?
yeah, but I know. But listen, brethren, if I wasn't in the church, then I wouldn't have had that problem, because then I would have probably tested the merchandise.
You're on the church, bro.
Tested.
Yeah, we'll test the
You're on the
merchandise.
church, you understand? And if you're free of the church, yeah, you're supposed to be, you know what I mean? Free of the thinkings and the constraints of church.
Yes, but
You understand what I'm saying to you?
you cannot commit
Yeah?
fornication, brethren. You just can't commit.
I don't know what for fornication.
Well,
I got a brother. Listen, I got a brother that I know. You understand? His church was to get and his woman then. He's had enough of them. He's had enough of them. You understand? He's saying right now, well, you think I'm leaving them just for the pastor. He's in. I'm saying to you, so it just depends on who and what.
Yeah, but my circumstance
And
was.
there's Muslim man's out there talking and they're spitting that Muslim rap and just getting in the girls' head and women's head just press.
My circumstances were different. My circumstances were completely different, brethren. I abide by.
Listen, man. Some people use the knowledge of whatever it is that they learn.
If it's old school,
and use it for, to their advantage or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever you are, call it. Same way women do.
well,
And they've been doing that for a long time. You understand? Hence why even certain brothers.
yeah, but you have some woman, you know. You have some woman, he can't, and the man can't satisfy them, and she love him still, you know. she love him still, but the man just can't satisfy her, so she goes.
It depends what you mean by satisfy.
Yeah, no.
Right now, listen. One thing I learned is that when a person is not content, you just leave them.
I mean, just leave them.
As simple as that, bro.
Break up the relationship.
Yeah.
Listen, when a person is not content, then you can leave them. That's in anything. It's not just sex, bro.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Because all they will do is embarrass you with that.
Yeah, but we're looking on the thing that this man drugged them, right? If you say that he didn't drug them, well, I wondered why did he have to do that?
He didn't have to.
He
He didn't have to.
He didn't have
He's in
to.
show business. Listen, though. Right? When you're in the show business, you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? People will give up things to be in the show business.
Yeah.
All right, then. Would you be surprised to know how much high-class escorts have now turned big actors to be?
Who?
High-class escorts.
Okay, yes,
Actresses
yeah.
that you see on the screen, and I'm not going to call no names for their need a second, that would be a show in itself.
Mm.
You understand? Do you know how much high-class escorts, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, I know what it is. It means that people would buy sex. They would sell sex.
Okay, yes.
You know what I mean?
Means for prostitute.
Yeah, prostitute. Yeah.
How much of these actresses, for example, were prostitutes and high-class escorts before they found a big screen? And because they was escorted, they escorted somebody to the right place and was seen by the right person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And not even give up whatever it is. So when you see some of them Arabs, they were 50.
But listen.
And they book all some certain artists to come do a show with them over Dubai and all of them things. What do you think is going on with that? And they bring in all these models and all of them things. And they go a step further. What do you think? Yeah, that when the Supremes and all of these people back in the day hold power on the brother. I must think about Jimmy Mack. And when you hear all Aretha Franklin talk about respect, and our Rocket Wedding talking about respect, and Willie T, Thank You John, and all these, what do you think these songs and the business is all about, brother?
Well, it's difficult to hear you properly on the phone because your phone sounds muffled up, brethren. I don't know why your phone always sounds so muffled up.
Well, I don't know, man.
But we got the gist of what you're saying. But at the same time, you said he didn't have to do that, right? So why didn't he go and choose high class prostitutes then and things like that to go and do that? You know what I mean? He could have choose.
What do you mean?
He could have.
I don't know who these people were all these years ago when you understand. But at the same time, this is what always seems to pull down the minute sex, innit?
Yeah. All right. You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Yeah, because there is an illusion that basically that man has to be ever ready.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, we must be ever ready. We must be ever. Man in general's got to be ever ready, but especially the black
a man has to be ever ready.
Hamatic theory.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. That theory I can understand that. But it's true though.
The Hamatic theory, yeah, coming from the Torah Bible, since you want to get religious or bring religion into the argument, you know what I'm saying? Makes black man talks about black man and they're elongated things.
All right. Well,
you get what I'm saying to you? Being a curse from God.
Okay then. Well, let's leave it at that, and then we get someone else in, and you're welcome to call back if you.
I thought I'd jump in because the phone ain't rang still.
Yeah, man.
And I definitely want to check you about some of them thinking there, my brother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm glad you
It's
did.
not all about sex. Some people, they get everything. So when you're talking about satisfied, somebody ain't satisfying somebody. They might be getting satisfied in another way. You understand what I'm saying to you? What I'm saying, yeah, if I'm looking on a thing financially and I need some financial satisfaction, Pum Pum ain't going to do it, my brother.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying to you?
Partner expression. All right then. Yeah.
That's it, bro.
Enough respect. Bless our time.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, there you have it. Well, I'm a bit draconian, am I?
You've been put in your place, Heru.
No, I don't have one opinion.
I'm sure many think alike.
No, but I'm kind of thinking like when I was in the church, brethren, you know, it was a different
Yeah,
thing,
but
you know?
the thing is, you can't really use the church as an excuse because it's different for everybody. I mean, I know young ladies now who are in church, they're in mid-20s, and they just, it's all about getting to know the person.
You're live on Genesis.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Oh, you cut off. Oh, he's gone. Call back, Bertrack, because he's got cut off. While I read his text, 801 says, Heru, if you... All right, text back. Okay, you're live.
Oh, hello,
Yeah.
Heru, it's Berchak.
Yeah, hi there.
Now, this is a very delicate topic to talk about, and because on Friday I was on TV, to cut the long story short on that, and I was on a Turkish TV.
You could talk up a bit, Bertrack. Can you talk up?
I was on
That's better.
I was on a Turkish TV thing about autism, but you know what I have to do is watch what I say, because there could be some people that is listening.
Yeah.
But sex and relationships now, that sex is that I opened up to this world newly, as a man, you know, and this was in 015, 016. However, I'm not going to say what I had. You know, I had good times with different ladies. You know, like one night stand. But as a person of relationships, there's a lot of people out there that haven't had that kind of having a good time. They're basically virgin. There's now been statistics outside. There's been statistics in England. Have a listen to this. Statistics that a lot of men are single. Either it's not because they don't want to have it with a lady, but it's just because they're single. Now, this is more, for me, this is more lust than love. And I had this talk with a lot of people, a lot of different people. Love is different. You meet a nice lady, not just a nice lady, but, you know, you think, but if you, basically your mind is somewhere else, and you have a look at other women, it is called haram. My religion is a Muslim religion, where in Muslimanity, if you're married and have 2 kids, but you start looking at other women or coming by just because they have a different kind of clothing, I mean, which turns the person on. I can say, for example, you're in a pool and you get very, very nice ladies, you know, wearing bikinis, and you start looking at that, or you start doing other things, which I'm not going to go into details, but you're doing that or saying some things, it is called haram. Even if you're not married, in Muslimanity, you cannot go out there and look at other women, just stare at them. You understand? I had these kind of problems, and I haven't said that I've gone through it, but I don't want to open myself, but I'm going through it as a young, single person, and I can't lie about it. I can't think about it, and also now I've got to be careful of what I say because I was on TV. But what I'm saying is that these are happening to many other people, many other issues. There's black people that's happening to, there's Turkish people that go through the same thing, and this is just because, unfortunately, it's this country and what they wear. You go outside, you see, in the summer, you see many biker women pedaling, and they're wearing shorts, and it does turn a person on. There's a lot of people now that are unemployed now, just in Peckham, they're just looking and hunting for women that's in bike. You know, these are things that are happening, but it's mainly on the sexual side of things. It is very, 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 you know, how do you say, delicate, but I know the principles of my religion. You know, that could be, for example, look, sister, that could be someone that's peddling, that could be your daughter that someone's having a look at, that could be your thing. So imagine if my daughter was pedaling on a bike and someone started looking and grazing, you know, and I was there, you know, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but but people are free to look, innit? People are free to look. You can't stop people from looking.
No, what I'm asking you as a question is, if your daughter, like, was pedaling on a bike or had that figure, and someone comes up and looks and stares and stares and stares at you and comes up to your daughter, and you're seeing this on the car, and then she comes up to the daughter and says, ding, 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 something, something, ding, ding, whatever, and you saw that, what would you do about it? Obviously, you would tell the man to say, "Oi, what are you doing? Are you a freak or something?" Like you would.
No,
you
but I would.
have this.
No, but I would know that.
What would you do?
No, I wouldn't.
What would you do?
No, it's happened already because I'm walking my daughter and I see a man staring at her.
Yeah, but he's talking about when they're verbal.
Oh, I go up to her.
If they actually said something to her.
Well, I would just wait, brethren, because I'm not going to be there to defend her all the time. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to see.
No, I mean, if you was there, and like, let's say you had a different daughter that was like pregnant, because that basically sets the person off. You don't know that person is like he's got autism or he's doing, but he comes up and he says, "Ding, ding, ding, I love you, ding, 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 whatever."
Yeah, but you wouldn't be aware, would you, Bertrand? Is it Bertrand? You wouldn't be aware if the person had autism, because remember, autistic people. There's two different spectrums, isn't it? You've got the low and you've got the high. Well, I had a situation where I've got two daughters, very pretty, very voluptuous body-wise, have been from a young age, and we go to a regular butcher's for years. And my daughter had gone to the butcher's in the morning, and this is a Muslim butcher's. And I'd gone there in the afternoon, and when I went there in the afternoon, the young man serving me and everything, as people talk and they joke around and whatever. And then he said to me, "Your daughter coming here this morning?" I said, "Which one?" He said, "Oh, the one with the long hair." I said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, I'd like to see her in a nice sexy nightie." That was about 8 years ago. And when I tell you, I put him in his place till today. He works on a phone stall in Catford. Sorry, Lewisham. And when he sees me, he says nothing. Nothing. He just look, because I just made him know, you have to know your place. Because if parents don't step in and say something, then their children the girls and boys might think, okay, that's acceptable.
No, but your daughter wasn't there though.
What, when he said it?
Yeah, but
when he said it to you.
When he said it to me, she wasn't, but my other daughter was with me.
Okay.
My other daughter was with me.
So,
but whether your daughter's with you or not, it doesn't mean it's right. It's still wrong.
All right. Well, if I'm asking you this question now, I know that I have, I'm a single person, and I know that I should not do these things. Yeah. And it's sad to talk about, but when I see a lady that pedals on the bike, especially the what she's wearing and things, and if that was one of your daughters with that figure, let's say you had another daughter that was pedaling, and you just was behind, pedaling on the bike, let's say, and I came up and you knew I had this condition, and I said, ding, 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 something, something, hi, ding, ding, whatever, and doing those things, Aisha, whatever, them silly sounds.
Well, Patrick,
what would you...
For me, myself, if it was my daughter and I was aware you had autism, I would... Well, first of all, I always think it's good to educate your kids anyway. But for me, if it was my daughter and I knew he was autistic, I would ask my daughter, say, look, like, you have to excuse him because obviously he's autistic, and sometimes obviously people express themselves differently. Some people don't actually know how to express themselves. Do you understand?
It's the way I approach people because of me being single, not just autistic, but being single.
Yeah, but
now, some people reply back.
Okay.
Some people reply back, they said hi and this and that.
Yeah.
But some people, basically, when I come up to them and when I approach a lady like that, she is either fighting. There was one lady that was saying some dirty sounds too, and she was like, she took off her earphones. She knew she could, but she said to me, "I can't hear you." And then she turned back and like there was another lady that was making them dirty noise too. And then she asked me for the bus. She acted like she asked me. But then there was those three black women. But then one of them came back and said, "Why are you doing those dirty noises and silly noises. And I said that, basically I said I was excited because of the weather. I didn't want to say I love you or this or that. I didn't want to say I love you or whatever. But the only thing with me, this is what sad is about. When I just say, for example, you look like this and this and this, if I want to go to a relationship, there was a biker lady, and I said, you sound like this and this and that, but I can't bring on the conversation to have that kind of relation. There's some men that can bring on one conversation, and they would chat about so badly that every, the woman that would pedal on a bike would go out with it. You would crack such a joke. You would crack one of these comedians. But Bill Cosby, you talk about Bill Cosby, or let's say Chester of Lincoln Park, who jumped up and killed himself. Chester, when you talk about Lincoln Park, how do you say in Turkish, the waters drop? Everybody, even you might not like that kind of music when it screams, but it's rap core. But the way he used to do it live, and the way he used to bring on the people, it's like the whole of America, it would drop. Even though his enemies loved him. But look what's happened. He had all those girls. God knows if he had the biker girls and shorts in America, if he had the thing. Lincoln Park is famous all over. He must have had lots of women, but look what happened to him. Because of things, he just killed himself. Because of so much thing, and he didn't have a mom like my mom. He didn't have no mom. He didn't have no dad. And look at them now. All the girls are eating his money probably. And when apparently, you know about Chester, didn't you? Lincoln Park when he killed himself.
What's his name?
Was it on the news? Chester? Was it Chester?
Oh, what?
Lincoln Park, the
Chester
singer?
Charles? Is it Chester Charles Bennington?
Yeah, the Lincoln Park singer. You know, the one that used to scream, "I'm about to pray." I think if I heard it right, he killed himself. If I heard this right on the Turkish news. But we were shocked. I mean, which one of Lincoln Park? But it was the guy that was screaming. But you understand that these singers can have all the girls they think.
I can see what you mean, yeah.
But people like me, normal people like me in my life, I don't think in this case I might not even seem to get married, because the lady that I'm going to marry to, she's going to be like, why is he having a look at other women? Even if it's an African lady, or if it's a thing, and she's going to come back to you and she's going to phone up and say, well, look, Heru, he's been having a look at other women. I've had enough of him. I gave him so many chances. And then there's one relationship, one person, for example, he's married to a nice white woman, but he goes and has a look at other women. Let's say he's black, and what happens is he gets very upset. The white woman says, no, darling, now I gave you so many chances, I can't let you see the kids, you're a thing. And then he starts to attack the woman. He goes into prison, and then his life becomes a hellhole, basically. So I've got to marry someone that is really, really technical. I don't even know, because it is haram for me to have a look at other women, because there's also the principles of Islam saying that I could go to hell for eternity upon eternity if I upset that lady and make that lady's life a hell. So this is not just about relationships. This is what I believe because of the religious concepts. But I don't think to see that I'm not following the principles of God, and I keep looking and doing the same things that I do. I'm not going to go into details of it, but I keep saying the same things. There are people that's telling me, stop, look, Burchak, you're going to be out on TV. Maybe you're going to be someone good now after I've been on the TV. Who knows now. But basically, all of these things are going around my head, and it's because I'm open, as in, how can I say, sexually open, as a man. I've been open to myself as a man, and I'm recording the show as I speak, but I am actually embarrassed myself. I want to get out of it, because I'm now, no, I don't want to say to myself, well, I'm a freak. I don't want to put myself as a freak. And I'm scared that I'm putting myself as a freak. So what does the sister think? I'm scared that I'm coming out on the radio and people are going to say, oh, he's a freak, we're not going to have him back in our program. I'm scared because our, community doesn't understand of different things. And I'm a bit scared of that. Saying, oh, he's a freak, and then they're going to pin me down and not let them back in our program. So that is why I'm scared, and I'm, I don't know if I said the right things, but I don't want to go into details, but this is the problem that I have. Yeah, and the medication doesn't help it. They say Breaking Benjamin has a song called "Runaway Medicate." If you heard Breaking Benjamin, check Medicate. That song, Runaway Medicate. Yeah, take the medications that they give you, the doctor gives you, but it doesn't help with that. You know, you just, I don't know how it is, but there's a lot of people that have the same issue as I do, and basically either they come up to a woman and really do something and they go to prison for it, you know, or, you know, their lives are gone. And these are the things that obviously I don't do, you know, because now I start to realize that I'm going to be on television. And the lady said that, Burchak, would you like to come on our other programs as well? And this is about talking about autism. So if you're in the spotlight and if you're going to be a person that is ready to start slowly being in the spotlight, you can't say some things because then you'll mash it up. You'll mash your life up. I mean, there's been people that's been offering me saying, would you like to play in the 492 Corner Club on the other station?
All right, Burchak.
You know, so I can't mash it up. But have I said anything that is wrong? Because I'm very scared now.
Not at all.
No, that's all right. But as I say,
it's not a crime.
No, but at the same time,
all right,
if you're a celebrity and you have to do that, you can get a lot of women. You know, it's very grim.
Yeah,
thank you, Burchak, for that. Right? I'm going to read out a few texts.
I don't know.
You can call back. You can call back when you're ready. Yeah.
Thank you, Burchak. Can you call out the text line?
Yeah.
And call number as
Our
well?
text line number is 07931 27 62 and a 32, and I repeat 07931 27 62 and a 32. We'll bring it into the studios, and the hotline numbers are
0740. Sorry, I said that. No, I said that was right actually. 07404 367 618.
Okay, I can read the text here. 801 says, Heru, if you go to any major city in the UK on a Friday or Saturday night, most women are sedated through alcohol abuse, and men for that matter. I think some of these women claiming that abuse by Bill Crosby are looking for a little pension at this late stage in their lives. They come like ambulance chasers. Okay, you're live on Genesis.
Hello?
Hi, you're live on Genesis.
Good afternoon to your guest as well.
Hold on. 899, could you hold sway? After we'll let you know after Reese is finished. Go on, Reese.
Yeah, with all the discussions that have been taking place online, etc., around the Bill Cosby sentencing, a couple of people came up with a very interesting point. And so I'm just going to repeat the point because it does make a lot of sense. And I looked at the article and I read the article and I'm like, wow, didn't know that. That's very interesting because they've just sentenced an 81-year-old man. Okay? No evidence, no DNA, not one stickle of DNA, just hearsay and the Me Too movement. Okay? Be careful what you wish for because if you start that ball, it ain't going to be pretty, right? And I don't know, but I would argue from what I've heard that he will be exonerated. They better pray nothing happens to him inside. But something happened in America 55 years ago. Similar kind of thing, hearsay. A young boy named Emmett Till was lynched. 14 years old, he was lynched on the say-so of a 21-year-old white woman.
I heard about that.
Now, comes to light that she says, and I think it's part of a book, she has confessed that nothing went down like that. Now, if it's on record that you said, well, you lied, which is what I've read, basically she lied and made up this stuff, well, that's accessory to murder. That's joint enterprise. She's 84. She should go to jail. There's no little nice old lady about it. You were young once, and you caused the death of Emmett Till, the mother, saw the state of her son and said, leave the casket open. I want everybody to see what they've done to my boy. Yeah. And as you know, you can go online, you can see it.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Now, I don't know what those people out there in America are drinking. And if they can hear it, and it's been discussed and raised by an expert in the law, not me, I heard it from an expert in the law, and from somebody else, and I thought, that's very interesting, let me look this up. Because, you know, it's Chinese whispers, somebody says something, and before you confirm it, you're spreading something that wasn't true. So there's a Guardian article, her name is Carolyn Bryant, I think it is. You could have a read of that in that article. It was, I think it's Guardian. Guardian. It will tell you the story about the Emmett Till, what she said at the time under oath, what she's claiming now. So I just thought I'd throw that one in.
Okay, yeah, because Anaya, she said she heard of the story.
Yeah, is that the same story?
Okay.
Is that the same one where the lady lied about a young boy, and then two guys, they decided to take the law into their own hands, and they beat him really badly, and he died, and then years and years later, she's confessed that she lied, and there was an uproar because what they were saying is the two guys didn't. If it's the same one, the two guys didn't get charged, but what they're saying is because of this woman, she caused this to happen. She should, she should be arrested because I was reading about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm late to the news because I've looked at the article. It says 2017. So I thought, okay, this is something that, as you said, there's probably been a lot of say about it, but no one's actually done anything about it. Nice little old lady, isn't it? I mean, this is not the first time that he touched me and it wasn't true. That was the whole thing about the Tulsa bombing, or if you want to call it that. That was about a bellhop boy and what he was supposed to have done to a girl in the lift, right? That never happened either. You know what the black codes and stuff laws were in places like Mississippi, Alabama, and all the rest of it. It was not a pretty time, but people, you know. Look,
but Reese,
I know.
One second, Reese, but you texted and said that Bill Cosby is going to be exonerated.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, in the end. But remember, he's 81 now.
He's 81, yeah.
Yeah, so
and they're going to put an appeal in.
Okay.
And it's a technical thing, as Judge Joe Brown was explaining. But there's also the thing is, it should never have taken place.
The trial shouldn't have taken place, no?
No. It's political. It's silly. He's got the prosecutor's got a vested interest. Ran on the campaign. I'm going to lock Bill Clinton up. Bill Clinton. There you go. That's a guy now who is accused of several rapes.
Really?
You can look at Bill Clinton, but he paid Andrea Constant $3.5 or $6 million, and I forget what they call it when you pay a pest to just get out of my life.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
Michael Jackson did the same thing, didn't he?
Yes, and it doesn't. It kind of doesn't work because what do? I'm now empowered. I can afford another lawyer, Gloria Allred, who's dear. I don't. The funny thing is, in the short term, all this Me Too and all this girl power stuff, it might seem great. I'm telling you, this is going to have such a huge backlash. A lot of women are going to wish they had spoken up against these harridans and liars when they had the chance to speak up and lie. I mean, tell the truth. And say, I am not with them. But because they're getting paid and they're getting jobs and they're in positions, I mean, you've got a commissioner of police, qualifications, 5'1" lesbian. She could not take down an angry 11-year-old boy.
How do you know?
How do you get the top job? Political correctness.
May I ask?
We're having this problem.
May I ask how you know what her capability is for a job? She must be able to do quite well because I'm sure she would had to climb to that position.
I'd rather not answer that one. I think what you need to do is have a look at her. I mean, let's be honest. What's she famous for? John Charles Dominguez. That's all she's famous for. And sending shooters, British shooters, to get trained by the Israelis how to kill. Right?
Okay.
That's what she's famous for.
Okay.
And apart from, you read the article yourself. I didn't write it. She's a lesbian, and she and the London Mayor, they're a pair, aren't they? I'm like, which one's taller? Which one's taller? I mean, really. I mean, once upon a time, you have to be at least 6 foot.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
I remember. Yeah.
To be what, a mayor?
No, to work in the police force. You
Oh,
had
yeah,
to be
that's
above
right.
a
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
height.
yeah.
This thing has gone too far. You've got programs called Police Women of Dallas, Police Women of blah, blah, blah.
Have you seen the size of them?
And they're on the road. Now, listen to this, right? It's hilarious. But, you know, liars will lie and lie and lie until one day the little boy said, you got no clothes on, right? And, you know, as they say, don't shoot the messenger. So here we are watching this, and I thought, this is interesting. A lot of responsibility, tough gig, isn't it? So it's the usual thing. Even the marshals, there's one with the marshals, and they've got some girls there. And it's always the same thing. The guys go kicking in the doors. They're right up by the windows, you know. Come out. And I nearly choked on my food. Way back, way out of sight, was a girl with a gun. Way out of sight. Now, she's going to argue, right, that she should get the same pay for doing less work.
Why shouldn't she?
She's not.
Remember, we're seeing when you watch a TV program, you're seeing a caption of what is going on. Because even on the Dallas one, I've actually seen, they actually sent a group of women in. The other day, a group of women went in, there was a robber in the house, and the women were armed, and the men were outside, and the women went inside. So what we're seeing is
you may have seen that. I've never seen it. And I'm willing to give it a go. But I know what this is. The amount of scandals in the army. The British, they keep it quiet. I mean, this... Oh, what about the murderer on death row? 2 prison warders, female, pregnant. Couldn't find a man outside. Look, I mean, I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes, but it's going to take. And when it does, it's over. The whole of this argument is based upon a lie. It should never have been up. But let's be honest. This whole feminist business. It's like legitimized homosexuals. Now they're legitimizing transsexuals. Did you know, or have you know, that there are some transsexuals, quite a few, who have written books and they do lectures, and they're regretting this transsexual thing and they're speaking out against it? Did you know that?
Okay.
Oh yeah. Now that's not comfortable for people that want this inverse world where right is wrong and up is down, and children have a right, you know. That's the UN for you. They can say no if they want to, and Peter Pan's Charter, I call it. You've got to read between the lines. People if you divide people up and compartmentalize them, they think, I'm getting something out of this. Oh, this is good. But if you look at the whole picture, you see what's going on. And these things are predicted in what people would call an old fable. You know, 2,000-year-old fable. It's predicted and it's happening. So, I mean, I didn't want to go in, and I'm not even going in on the female stuff. If anybody's seen those shows, you just got to watch the shows to see how ridiculous this is. And you've got Serena Williams. I mean...
Oh, God, don't talk about Serena.
Well, the reason why she thinks that men and women should get the same pay is not because they play the same amount of games. It's because we're hot, innit? Just because we're hot. Oh, yeah. She uses her sexuality when she wants to. But when she gets the point taken, it's because I'm a woman. Is it because I have my baby? I'm like, you really serious? This is really ridiculous.
See,
you know?
Yeah, but you see, we you come from one woman to another, but with Bill Crosby, right? He never had to rape none of them, and I think
I'm not sure that he did. There's no evidence of it.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. 55 years later, there is no evidence. So they've taken him, they've put him in prison on what? On hearsay.
But it's not only him.
On hearsay.
Yeah, but you remember the other one as well.
He gave her Benadryl.
Yeah,
not Quaaludes.
Okay.
Benadryl.
But remember the other one
That's
as well.
what
What about the other ones that they had? The one they had done. What's his name? The other ones. You want to be in my gang? And all them people there.
Oh, Gary Glitter.
Yeah, and others, which was done years as well. So he's not on his own.
Wasn't he gay?
Yeah, but he's
No,
not.
I mean, this thing goes from, I suppose, from the inception of Hollywood. The casting couch. Everybody knew about Marilyn Monroe before she went with Jack Kennedy. Everybody knows the stories of lots of big Hollywood stars, female, right?
Yeah.
It's not new, and Hollywood parties is not new. Taking a Charlie, I didn't even know what Quaaludes was. That's a new one on me. But other people I know. You know what I mean? But these are known things. I mean, let's be honest. When Elvis came to London, right?
Oh,
and
Elvis?
all these schoolgirls were screaming their heads off. What did we think those girls wanted to do?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Sorry, Reese. Can you just? What do you mean? What they wanted to do? Like, could you kind of elaborate on that? Because I don't understand. Because
I didn't even know he come to London.
Who, Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
Well, let me see if it's London. I'm envisioning the tarmac and the airplane and him up the top waving. So it could have been elsewhere. What there was and what there usually is loads of girls.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Pamela Des Barnes wrote the book "I'm with the band." That's the first groupie tell all. This is nothing new.
Yeah, but what did you mean by
weaponized?
What did you mean by the phrase? What they were there? What were they there for? Not to see somebody famous? Why is it automatically you've got to be like for something like sexual or wanting to? Because sometimes you can like somebody famous, and it doesn't necessarily mean you want to jump in their pants. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I take your point. Sometimes, okay.
Thank you.
But that's sometimes. But most of the time, it's what it is. And they sing about it, and they rap about it, and you can watch the videos about it.
Yeah, that's some
One of them's worth 150 million now.
Yeah.
Or is it 110 million?
Yeah, that's
and she's got her own show.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing new. What they've done is weaponize a sexual encounter and called it something else, and they don't need evidence. Yeah. All they have to do is be crying on Gloria Allred's armpit, and it must be true. They pushed this rock up the hill long enough. It's going to come down, Sisterfoot.
Yeah, but
it's going to come down like a house of cards.
You must understand court law. The laws. If it's a civil law, you only need you don't need probability. But when it comes down to criminal law, you don't even need facts. You just need it to be, you know what I mean, more than probable. You know what I mean, without doubt. And once they can prove it without doubt.
Well, you have to ask the jury. You know. What is it they usually say? You know, there should be no question, but there is no evidence.
But you know,
I'm sorry. I mean, listen, a lot of people don't get this, and they try to say, "Oh, you don't believe the rape happened." Listen, if you rape someone in this country and you go to prison, there's men in prison who murder people, burglars. Even the rapists want to what they call sign on a rule, which means I'm out of general population, they will kill me if they find out. Right? But they don't want to talk about that. They keep weaponizing nonsense, and they're doing very well out of it.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, they get assistance, because when guys tell them, "Oh, you're queen," they're only after one thing, and generally they get it. So it's a win-win for those who side along with it. And I'm just thinking, man, you are not helping women when you put them in harm's way and take advantage of them. And enough of them are being taken advantage of because some lying manners are boosting up her ego and flattering her, and they're not willing to speak the truth.
Yeah, but sometimes the guys are actually speaking the truth. Maybe that's how they feel. Maybe they're just expressing themselves. But it can happen to anybody, not just somebody famous. It can happen to... I know somebody who went to, is it civil court? And they were accused of stealing money and not giving payment in kind, something like that. yeah, and that was going on for over a year. And I attended court with the person. And when we went to court, we went back and forth until it got to a stage where the judge says, look, if you don't provide X amount of evidence by the 10th of April, then that's it. I'm throwing it out of court. Even in the small courts, they still... This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
In small courts, you still need some kind of evidence, but yet...
Probability.
Yeah, but there's no evidence.
So how come... This is why. If no evidence,
how
come he got convicted?
Well, Bill Cosby has something going in the pipeline. I think...
He wanted to buy...
this tapping off celebrity phones, I mean, this is how they get to find out where you're going to be. That's why the paparazzi is always there. Yeah. They get the tip off by tapping your phone. And hiving your emails and so forth, and it's kind of extensive. Even the snoopers charter that Theresa May was trying to get through got slapped down the other day, again, right? So although there was the WhatsApp thing going around saying it did get another knockback, so you know some people, and that's the EU, they're saying no, this is breaching human rights laws. Snoopers charter. It is what it is. I mean. Bill Cosby is a powerful person, and if he came up with another successful project, which from what I understand, this could have been something, well, they want to nip it in the bud any which way. Yeah. I am speculating here, and I suspect that more will come out of it, you know, by the right people who know. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Really to bring the Emmett Till thing to tonight.
Yeah, man. Nice one. Cool. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Respect. Okay, we've got a text here. Text 099 said, haha, Reese was so confused. I don't think he was, but what he's saying there, he was always talking about evidence and no proof whatsoever. At least, I don't understand how they work that one out, but obviously the law, you know, was the overall overarching thing here, that he was guilty by what? I don't know what he was guilty by. Well, but
if he made that confession that he drugged ladies before he done whatever he wanted, then obviously he's admitted it. Basically, he might not have done a multiple, but he's admitted to at least one. He said ladies. He's saying he done it. So his word is, if it's his own word, it's as good as any word, isn't it?
Yeah. You're live on Genesis. Use that. You're live on Genesis. Oh.
Yeah, Genesis. Oh. Yeah, bottom line is, they is a disposition where apparently he made it 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, he made a disposition, and he apparently said that he gave a woman one of them things there. Apparently, that document was supposed to be sealed.
Yeah,
and he had an agreement from the prosecution, to basically say that they was never going to unseal them. However, as far as me concerned, stupid Bill.
Yeah, he did confess it.
He didn't get that in writing.
God.
Yeah, he didn't get it in writing. So all the millions and multi-millions didn't mean nothing. Yeah, basic rule number one, innit? Yeah. Get it in writing. So what they did is must be maybe literally days before the so-called statute of limitations was up on it. Then they basically unsealed it. Yeah, they also broke laws in order to get him into court.
Wow!
But that district attorney that went in, he apparently got elected because he promised to go after Bill. Again, a big mistake in my opinion. In regards to Bill, is that when they got that verdict the first time, they should have never come out and held no press conference. They should have never come out and practically smiled.
Okay. See, so he may still get a retrial still.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, sorry, the call has gone there. But again, that shows you one thing, innit? Even if he didn't even bother with it, he just could have lived his life. The man's got money. The man's got everything, innit? Why do they have to
Maybe
people with money.
What
What?
he was getting too high up.
Yeah, because he wanted to buy what's it called, didn't he? A station.
Okay.
He wanted to buy a TV station, something like buy something. I think I'm not mistaken, it's a TV or something. I thought, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because you want to get bigger than what you are. This is what they were saying anyway. But so you see,
could you get any bigger?
yeah, having money is not always the in thing to have money, because you're supposed to act with sense. You know what I mean? Oh, that's weird. You're live.
Yeah. Well, the theory about Bill Cosby and...
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
The theory about Bill Cosby and Burchak.
Yeah.
The theory about this is...
Hang on, 609. 609, we'll deal with you after. Go on.
And it is that every time when the black man gets very, very famous, or let's say he helps the community, or let's say he helps his community, and what they do is they try to downgrade him by, I suppose, by the agents or the powers that be in America, try to downgrade. Look what they did to Michael Jackson. And now it's all coming out now. You understand what I'm saying? Well, Michael Jackson, after that video Bad, when he tried to help these people, saying that how bad these people are, that song, Bad, his career started to go downhill. They even attacked his face, but they didn't say these things. Now all the truth is coming out. He didn't attack, he didn't change his face. All of this was because some people attacked him. He saw those doctors, he saw those. It's all coming out. It's all slowly by slowly coming out. This is what they do to Michael Jackson. That's how degraded him. About he never had sex with ladies. He never had this. Those are not Michael Jackson's fans. Those are agents that putting out. Every time a black man gets more famous, or let's say another person, and he tries to help the people, they always trying to find a way to destroy him. Like they did to Bill Cosby, and they try to say now he's got rape allegations, this and that. Oh, rape allegations now. You see, they even did this to Michael Jackson when they said, he had child rape allegations and this and that. No, he didn't. Now it's all coming out. It's all coming out on the paper, and everyone says, when you're trying to say these things, they say you're a nutter, you're a conspiracy theorist and this and that. But every time someone helps his own community, this is what they did. Now they're doing it to Bill Cosby. They did it to Gaddafi. They did it to Michael Jackson. They did it to Bob Marley, which some people they killed him, or Peter Tosh, he got killed. They said he was a, drug thing. But you know what? It's all coming out now. Do you understand what I mean? Anyone who tries to help his own community, and I mean, they would do that to anybody else. They would do that to me, or they would do that to anybody else. So how comes when you're in the thing of fame, or I heard if Bill Cosby tries to help the people, they're going to go against him. And that's what they do to every one of these people, every one of these actors. Wesley Snipes, they said he was on tax evasion, or he did fraud. No, he wasn't. He paid these taxes things, but basically, I suppose he wants to help these people. And look what's happened to him. They keep doing this to every single body. They keep making lies about people, and that's what they do. It doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter if you're black, but especially when you're doing all these things now, they do it to everyone. So anyone who tries to help for equal rights and justice, or stands up for equal rights and this and that, or Africa, or this, that, they're going to degrade them with everything that they've got. If they can't hurt them, if they can't kill them, they'll degrade them in something else. Look what they're trying to do now to the new Venezuelan Prime Minister, Maduro. They tried to kill him, they tried to do, but they couldn't. This is what they are trying to do. And when they killed Michael Jackson, it's because, he tried to stand up for his own people and other people, and he tried to bring unity together.
Yeah.
Look at it now, though.
Okay.
That's why Michael Jackson was so powerful. And that's why what they did to him, they set him up with saying he's a rapist and all that. Those child was got to lie. I bet you they were threatened to lie. But you know what? The truth is always coming out now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, thank you, Bertrack. Enough respect.
Can we just call for those who want to call in live? The number is I'm echoing.
Okay, I'll turn this down. Go on.
07404 367 618.
Too fast.
074
Yeah.
04 367 618.
Okay, and 609. I can call back now. The line's free. So there's a lesson in all this, I think. I don't know if people realise that if they are famous, I think money changes their minds and change their attitudes. Because he thought if he did all of that, if he did really do all what he's done, and it must be like murder for him, because he thought that he could probably get away with it.
Yeah, he probably did.
55 years ago, come on, man! Anybody would have thought that after 55 years. Damn.
There was a period of time where when you committed a crime, after a certain amount of time, you couldn't be convicted of it. But that law changed. Remember? Yeah, that law changed.
How come?
So probably because too many people were getting a bit too cheeky, innit? Getting a bit, I got away with this, but. It doesn't matter how much money he's got. Why would you feel so powerful to confess? He must have felt like, I'm in a place where I can't be touched. Because if it took him so long to confess, do you know what I mean? You're only going to confess something like that if you don't think you're going to get in trouble.
That's right.
Other than a publicity stunt, and I'm sure sitting in prison is not an enjoyable publicity stunt.
Wow.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? Whether you got money or not.
He's coming out in a box, isn't he?
3609.
You're live on Genesis.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Andrew.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
How's things, man?
Everything cool.
Hey, nice show still.
Nice one.
Hey, I've been listening to the show, and I don't even know anything about the Bill Cosby case, really, and to make an opinion. But ain't that a thing where he confessed to drugging a woman or a couple of women?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So what's the big issue? Like, a man's supposed to respect women, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if this man is guilty of doing something so many years ago, and just because he's 81 years old now and a black man, does that make it, there's an argument there.
No, I think the argument is the fact that he's been found guilty without any. All right, he confessed to some, but he didn't confess to all, and he's been charged without evidence because it's 55 years later. Do you understand? They're going by the words of these people, obviously, and what he's confessed to. But obviously, 55, I could even phone, well, I couldn't because I'm not that old. But, for example, I could actually call up and say, look, I'm one of these women. What? I could just be after a quick buck. Do you know what I mean?
But they're not getting paid out, are they?
Well, if it's going into the papers and things like that, you get paid to sell your story.
Yeah, but you know what? That I guess that comes with the crowd
territory, yeah.
Man, because I mean, and he's such a public figure as well. He shouldn't be doing them things. I just thought, and I don't get people's opinions. I guess everybody's going from media as well.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? Because I did read a little bit of it, and all I needed to read was that the man confessed to doing it.
And after that, you didn't want to hear no more.
No, because the man, he's abused a woman, yeah, right, which is wrong anyway. So, to me, I don't get what the argument is. Is the argument because he's so old, or is it like you said because there were so many and there's no evidence behind him?
I think it's more. I think it's kind of a couple of things. I think age-wise, I mean, he's 81. All right, everybody that does wrong obviously should be punished. But 81 years old, he may not live to do the 10 years.
That's his problem, isn't it? Really think about it.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's no evidence. Yeah, all right, 3 to 10. Give him, obviously it's not like over here. They don't give you the set, but you still have to do parole and everything over here. But you're given your sentence. You're given that sentence. Because I know a lifer and they're given their sentence.
he was a big figure. Like, I grew up watching the Cosby Show and things there. You know what I mean? So to hear a man confess to doing such a thing, right? I'm a man. I respect all women. You get what I'm saying? I'm totally against that.
Yeah. So how do you feel, if you're looking at it that way, how do you feel to know that you looked up to this man? This man was kind of an idol. And to find out he's done these things that you find distasteful, how does that make you feel?
I feel, he let me down. He let me down. Yeah. He used his fame and his...
I feel the same way too. In a way.
Yeah, like he used his fame and his money to abuse women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or how many that want to lie about it, like, you know what goes around comes around, and something came around his way.
Yeah.
See.
So, can I quickly ask you? Heru was saying about the when females, obviously you're like must be 2 generations down from us, yeah. So, what is that? What is your view on the no? You know when they say when a female says no, they mean yes. And how would you feel if you had to constantly, your woman's constantly telling you no, and what, you're just gonna take it or whatever, or carry on because of the women say no, they mean yes? What is your view on that? Because Heru says back in the day they were called cocksmen, and you know, so obviously you're a different generation to us. So I just wanted to ask your view.
Okay. Well, if a woman tells you no, right? No is no, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. There's different circumstances, isn't it? Like, I could be laying in the bed with my woman, right? Furthermore, not my woman. I could be laying in the bed with a woman I just met on a night out or something like that. Yeah. And she tells me no, she's not up for it, or whatever the reason is, or she tells me no. You have to take that. You just have to accept it. Like,
and if it was your partner?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have to accept that. But then this is my partner. You have to know how to work it as a man, innit?
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're supposed to respect each other, and especially men are supposed to respect women.
Yeah, but listen, but I've heard women say, I didn't feel like it in the beginning, but you brought me around in the end of the day. You get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's cool. That's what I mean. Like, you have to know how to work it.
You know, I got to take no for your answer, Bridget.
What do you mean you have to know how to work it? But then that's you're contradicting yourself, because if you're saying when a woman says no, it means no, and then you're saying you got to know how to work it. So you, in a sense, what you're saying is that you sway the woman's mind.
Because
you just ramp around, bust a little joke, you know,
swaying the woman's mind.
Well, you have to try. You have to try, because it could be then the suspicion sets in, innit? You might think, oh, why are you saying no? Especially if we never done it night before, or we never done it a week ago. You see what I'm saying?
It's almost like pillow talk.
Yeah, you're gonna think, why you want to say no for? What happened? You had somebody else, or you see somebody else, or what?
You see it.
So you have to avoid
what
that.
About when it's the other way around? When a man says no, and
which man said no? A man never said no, really?
Some men must say no.
She needs to know my buttons then.
Yeah, exactly. You know, turn me on, bro. Turn me on, baby.
So you guys are obviously into the hard work thing. Then,
no, but it's a relationship. It's a relationship.
Yeah, but is it a relationship? If your woman says no, there could be something else going on, and that is why she's saying no. But because of your ego
Suspicion.
and assumption, assuming maybe she's messing with somebody else or blah blah blah. Yeah, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cause confusion. Remember, I'm a woman. Yeah, you're gonna cause confusion. You're gonna meddle with her feelings, because obviously once you get aroused, it obviously your body starts talking outside of your head. Do you understand? That is wrong. That is still wrong.
But right? You got different type of men out there, right? Yeah. I'm not saying I'm the perfect man, you know, right?
There's no such thing as a
control myself. But I know how to control myself, and that's what men need to understand. And they need to understand that, you know what? You can have a pretty woman in your bed in the morning time, and you leave your house to go to work, and you see 110 times looking like 10 women looking prettier than your woman. Yeah. Just because of the clothes that they got on. But you need to understand that the woman in your bed is the queen of your life.
Watch out.
If I'm making sense.
It's true.
It doesn't make sense.
It
Does that make sense?
It makes
Because
sense.
every woman has got the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
But they're not all the same on the inside.
That's right.
And
You know, and they all look different on the outside.
Well, that,
And you could one night and she's wearing the nicest thing, you know, and then you think, she look, and then the next day she's wearing something else. You think, well, that didn't look the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just down to it's just appearance.
Yeah, but in a relationship, a woman has to be careful when she says no. You know, she have to really be careful because suppose you ain't touch her for a week.
Yeah, and
you couldn't touch her for that night. No, do you think she still have a right to say no, Broderick?
Yes.
After a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marriage
You know what?
is partnership, not ownership.
Yeah.
Every
woman has the right to say no, and every man has.
Yes.
They should respect that.
But I think.
And just because you're with a person, you don't own their rights. Yeah. So a man needs to control himself and know, you know what? All right, I ain't getting nothing tonight. You know what? I might have to go downstairs to look after myself.
Look after yourself with what? Peanut butter and bread.
It's a hard thing still. It's a hard thing in a world.
Because you know what, and that's remember, we're living in a world of evil and good, you know, and sex is part of evilness, you know. Yeah. So when you start falling into that trick there of like, and you tell him no.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
The way I go out, you see it. So, and it's sad though because after a while, if you get used to that, if she gets used to telling you no, and you never argue, you never question her, she just say no. She knows you ain't gonna question her. She can do it deliberately, can't she?
Well, where's the deliberance in?
She can just probably having an affair. She could be having an affair.
Well, maybe she just don't like a caller earlier. Some women just don't like. Some women don't. Some people don't like men. Some people don't like women. Yeah. Some people just don't like sex.
Well,
Just because you may enjoy it, it doesn't mean that the lack of obviously you wouldn't understand because you enjoy it, so you wouldn't understand why wouldn't somebody enjoy that. Unless you meet someone that's going to rock your world and show you a difference, come on.
It's a bit difficult.
And you know what? There are them 2 minutes. It's not worth getting wet for 2 minutes. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that think like that.
You got some women that get turned on from watching a man mow the grass more than actually laying down next to them.
Or wash a car or something. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But that's a healthy relationship, though, isn't it?
That's what a man needs. That's what
a healthy relationship. Need. I know some relationship that woman's never said no. Never said no.
Yeah.
She could be sick.
But my woman never says no.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You see it? She got to be really sick.
Gotta be really sick.
Like fever and everything, and or she's on her monthlies, if pardon the expression, but some women never say no to please their man.
Right. Is it?
Yeah.
No,
serious.
Sorry, no. It's not just about pleasing your man. It's about the both of you. It's about the man understanding and respecting your feelings and your views. And if it goes on for
that technical.
No, hang on. If it goes on for all right for you, a week is like a year. Yeah. What? So if a week is like a year for you, then when that week's coming to an end, you got to ask yourself. You know what? Maybe maybe she does want to say yes, but maybe she could have something. No, she might have gone off you.
She might have gone off.
She might have personal things going on. She could be depressed. Do you understand? There could be somebody could have said the slightest thing to make her feel like not.
But she can't just say no. She talks to me, innit? Because we're in a relationship. She can't just say no like that. She talks to me and explains to me, innit?
Some people are hard to talk to. Some people are not listeners.
you need to make her feel like she can talk to you. Make her feel like she wants to have sex or intercourse with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you have to check yourself as a man. What is really the problem?
Yeah, you have to ask yourself a question. Yeah. And then even if it's an affair, you still got to ask yourself a question. Why does she need to go out and have another man?
No, because Michael ain't like.
You see what I mean?
Well, that's where your insecurity starts kicking in as well, though. I mean, I would never think that.
Really?
You know, if she's seeing another man. Yeah, nah. Because I feel like I'm doing the best that I can do.
There you are.
But whether she says yes or no.
Yeah.
But if she happens to see in another man because you're not satisfying her, then if you
some women, their men are satisfying them, but they just need more.
My white liver.
Greedy.
My white liver.
What's white liver?
The nymphomaniac.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
a medical
But you know what?
condition.
I do have to shoot off though. 'Cause I have to go take off from. I have to go take care of my Sunday duties.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay
listen
then.
to you. Well, you know what? You've got a lucky lady at home.
You're very good.
For real.
Hey,
For
you're
real.
funny.
Nice one.
Hey, it's good to chat to you.
All right.
guys,
Anytime. You
You
take
have a
care.
good day.
Bless up.
Afternoon.
Yeah, you
sir.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye.
Bless. Harry.
Yeah,
You're in tune
bye.
to Genesis Radio and 899 lines free if you want to call in. But you know, thinking about that, the no thing. She'd have to be upset in the beginning. I'd have to suss something's wrong. She can't be happy and talk to me and then come to the night now. No. Because you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna have to know why.
It could be anything.
You're live on Genesis.
Hello.
Yes, you're
Good
live.
afternoon.
Okay. We listened to a case, I think it was a few years ago, and I believe it was in Australia. Now, going on the topic that you're dealing with now, a man and a woman were having consensual sex. Everything was fine. And at some point during the intercourse, the woman said no. She wanted him to stop. Now, we're talking about control and listening to what the woman says. Obviously, the man was doing what he was doing, and he didn't see the point of stopping just because he said no, because she said no. So he continued until he was satisfied. Now, he was sentenced for rape.
What?
That man was sentenced for rape.
That's heavy.
I don't know if you can Google the case. I believe when we were listening to it, this was in Australia. So if there's people who are listening that can do a search or whatever, try and find it. But I do recall this being in Australia, and I'm going to leave it there and allow you to discuss it.
Thank
I
you.
want to see what comes back.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Bless up all the time. That's heavy, Bridget. This is the thing. When you have that can happen to you in a relationship, but your own wife can send you go to prison, brethren. Oh, girl, any girl, you will. And she said yes in the beginning, and then in the middle of it, she turned and said no.
There's I think
that's a madness, bro.
It's kind of that. It is a very that situation is very rocky because on one side, for somebody to just say no.
Who's
no, I think that face, not my phone.
Okay.
For somebody to just say no in the middle
of it.
Obviously, well, not obviously, but at some stage in that person's life, something could have happened, and something, the slightest movement or whatever, has brought everything back and whatever, and that's why she suddenly said no. Or she could have a man at home, and she's like just realised that she's like what she's doing is wrong. For a man, the thing is, I don't believe you can just turn around and say, yeah, you're guilty. Because some guys, you could, well, I'm not a man, so obviously I don't know what you guys feel or how much control you have once you're aroused. But my personal view as a woman, I believe that must be really hard to just, right in the middle, just shut yourself off.
I should probably have finished. probably had okay, you're live on Genesis. Yeah, call you live. Hello? Call up. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay. Listen, my brother, we got to talk.
Yeah, why is that? What up now?
All right, then, let me just give a little thing because, like, you know, I've been listening for about an hour now.
Yeah, cool.
Right. One of the things that I feel that I don't know if you covered it yet, right? But remember, back in the day, there in the 60s, and all, there was a big sexual revolution.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So sex was a more freer thing back them days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Flower
time
power.
when Bill Cosby was caught up in that thing there. Right. Yeah. That was prevalent. Sexual acts was very free over in them place there.
Okay.
Yeah? Right. And also, right, if you recall, most of the programs what was given at those times there, they always involved like
some form of seduction of like drinks, right? Or some kind of like drug thing. So that's a regular thing. Drug taking and all them things was a regular movement. You understand?
Yeah.
Right. So come to the UK now, right? Obviously, we watching them type of thing there. We emulate those type of things there in some of our ways of how we engaged with our like other side, you know, with females and things. So, right? Because we feel say, you know, that was like a normal thing for a young person, because your parents not talk to you about them things there.
Yeah.
Right. So you pick up from your brethren, them or whatever, and then you see what one. So you feel so that is how it's done. You understand, right?
That's right.
And of course, as you mature now, you would obviously see the rights and the wrongs.
That's right. I agree.
You understand?
100%,
right?
brethren.
And the thing is that woman, right? They used to accept that, because that's the same thing they used to read in their Mills and Boons and all them romantic novels. That was popular in them days.
Yes.
You understand?
Serious
right?
Thing.
So my sister now, right? You are trying to put onto a person like an old dog like me and Heru now, right? the modern days.
Yes.
Modern days perspective of your sexual and relationship and communicative skills, which we never had back then.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
I agree 100%, brethren.
Right. Now, Mr. Heru, blood, fire. And I'm going to put myself in this category as well.
Right.
My brother, let's hope that our previous conquests don't do the same thing what that stupid woman I do. You understand?
What do you mean? Say that again?
I said, just hope that our previous conquests, right, doesn't do the same thing what that stupid woman I do.
Damn, and we all go to jail.
No, he's
right.
You're
and I'm holding my hands. I'm holding my hands up, because there's no woman who I know say was tipsy.
Yeah.
Them day. You understand?
They might start a snowballing. They might start a ball rolling, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
For real. But
Exactly.
I never thought about that.
You see, if you see
You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? Right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
You make me a fret now, brethren.
I think you better get onto your text line and say sorry.
I exposed myself, haven't I? I've done what Bill's done. I've confessed.
Yeah. No. But you understand now. You understand.
Wow.
You see what I mean? How foolishness that is.
Yes, all right.
Yeah?
For real. For real.
Yeah? All right, then, brother.
Yeah, respect.
Good conversation, though, man.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question quickly. A brother just brought in a point in Australia where we're in the middle of sex, and the woman said yes in the beginning, but in the middle of it she said no, and the brother was done for rape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a bit.
Well, nowadays it would be. Right?
Yeah, but not back then. Yeah.
Not back then.
For real.
Not back then. I tell you now.
Yeah, but then
it'd be very, very difficult
to do that.
To prove or to even take it to court.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Right. Here now, a man look on you too hard, and they're ready to take you to court.
And you know what as well? That urgency we had inside of us back then, under that false impression that yes means no, and you can just push it forward. You ain't gonna bother with that now. If a woman said no, that's it. You just hands up, you're gone about your business, brethren. Now the same people, the same man that used to push it. You know what I mean? Yeah, for real.
Yeah, let me tell you a little thing now, right? We used to do a thing called pressuring.
Yeah.
You understand? Even in a dance and a woman had back up, right? You have the wall. You ain't going no further than that wall.
For real.
You understand?
Yes.
Right.
Our strategies.
And when you're done, you're done.
That's right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Right. And it's the same thing that we perpetrated. We was with the woman them.
Yes.
Because certain women, them know so them have to run when a man hold themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Them know if they fix themselves, so I call it box with Bishop. A friend of mine used to say, you don't know for box with Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking real.
For real.
Because
I want you to get the realness of this thing here, right? Because there's a conversation, right? And there's a station there, what, talk real. You understand?
Yeah. Well, I recognize the voice, though.
Let me talk the real.
I recognize the voice. I ain't going to say no more.
That's it. No, but full respect, brother, man.
Full respect all the time,
you understand?
Man. Yes, I. Yeah, man. Bless
up. Yeah, man. Yeah?
Cool.
Okay, then. All right, then. Bless up, yeah?
Yeah, all the time.
You take care.
Right. Yeah, so...
Okay. You know why I said really?
Why?
Yeah. Because when I was 13, we moved to Deptford. And it was... you kind of say them. I think guys still had that view at that stage then.
Yeah,
and that was it wasn't a good thing, because I remember when I used to go to visit my cousin, we'd want to go to the local shop, and I never forget it, New Cross. Yeah, what we would have to do as girls, I was the eldest, I was 13, and what we would do is we would have to make a plan on how we were getting to the shop. And what we would have to do, we'd walk through past the tower block, and then there was a house where all the guys, the older guys, they looked like they was in their 20s, would hang about. And this is no word of a lie. We had to run. As school kids, you know, we had to run straight past. And these guys would pick up foot, and they would run us down. And those of us that could not run, I'm really lucky, I was always a fast runner. I used to feel so downhearted, because it's my family, I'd have to stop, because they would just like pin up my cousins on the wall and try and push their hands in the drawers, and it was really bad for a period of time, from when I was about 13 until it just got to the stage where I was like, you know what, you got to tell your brothers, because it was getting to the stage where I wouldn't go around there anymore. Would not go around there.
Yeah.
And then one day my mum took me to her friend's house. I never forget. I'm not going to call the name because everybody would know this person. She took me to her friend's house to meet her friend. I said, okay. So we went to the house, and when we went to the house, I'd never met the mum and dad before. Yeah, we was talking and whatever, and the lady was telling me, may I have one pretty son? Would that be good for you? And she called that. She called the person's name. And you see when he come downstairs.
So it was you.
I looked over. I looked at him. And he never said a word. Never said a word. But in my heart I was thinking, oh my days. Like, this is the brother that keeps on running us down and pinning us up, grabbing our chests and trying to squeeze our bottoms and all them things. Do you understand? And I was just like, you see, from that day there, obviously I knew where he lived and I knew his mum and dad. So when them boys started running, he would just lean up against the fence. Do you know what I mean? So realistically, that same thought kind of carried, because that was I was 13. So that was in the early 80s.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's scary. It is really scary.
And you know what as well? Just beyond that, in the late 70s or the middle 70s, them other thing that I used to call battery.
Pardon?
You heard about that? See, you don't know that. Batterying. Where they get one girl and about 4 men on they call that batterying, yeah. And those things were like, boy, I make a battery a girl. I thought, what? I've never done that. Thank Rough for that.
Because you could be having cool.
No way. I wouldn't. I knew about it, but I couldn't indulge in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's certain girls.
Was that because you knew it was wrong, or because of morals?
Instinctively.
Okay.
I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't never indulge in something like that.
Yeah.
But guys used to love all of that. You know, and there's some women that went along with it as well, and was quite proud to be bachelors. You know what I mean? But you know, we're
in
like
a
badge of honor. Yeah. You know, I mean, I just said 4 geezers, but at the end of the day,
you're joking.
But this word battering, they make a record over it, brethren.
No, that is.
So when I talk about the era, you must know what I'm talking about, because those were the things then.
They was in my day. They just called it gang banging
and things. You see what I'm trying to say? So those things were prevalent in our society. Yeah. As young people.
But it's scary to know that as youngsters, because
I want to know what's going on now. I want to know. I want to know. Happens now. Really?
It's still. I hear so many stories.
Damn. I haven't heard of young
but
people
you know what is
bring
the
up.
Scariest thing is the fact that those things are still happening in this day and age, and people don't even worry about STDs.
Ain't worried about that.
Things like that. No, but yeah, you stay there.
Oh,
but
God.
It's true. People don't worry about those things. Like they're hard. You know what I've got? My daughter laughs when I'm packing my handbag. I try not to use the toilet when I'm out, but I've got disposable toilet seat covers. Yeah, I don't business. You can get them in the pharmacy for £1.
Really?
Yes, disposable toilet seat.
Why does sit on
covers.
my trousers, brethren?
Well, I try not to sit at all. To be honest, do you understand?
But then, the population hasn't diminished as a result of sexually transmitted disease. But
diseases, but they're spreading wildfire.
Really?
Come on, like I'm sure back in the day when you met a girl, the last thing on your mind is this female? Has she got anything? Is she sleeping around? Them things back in the day.
But we sort of expect it.
Expect what? If you expect an STD, what are you
no,
going there for?
but we never had STDs back in them days.
Yes, you did have STDs back in the day.
Listen, we only had one major one.
And what's that then?
The rest were up.
They wasn't known about. They was known about, but they weren't widespread. They weren't it wasn't a threat.
What do they call it?
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia and the other. What's the other one? But those weren't relevant nowadays, brethren. But
yes, they was.
No, hold on. There's one major one. We call it.
Clap.
Yeah. That's one major one, brethren. We never know about those other chlamydia and NSU and them kind of thing, the brethren.
What's NSU?
There you are. Non-specific urethritis or nitis, what you call it. NSU.
I don't know.
Non-specific urethritis.
You know enough about these things here?
Come on now. Don't say that because... no.
What is going on here?
Nice. Come on, man. No. I can hear everybody screaming out. No, but you study you read about these things because when you're doing certain courses and things.
Okay, yeah.
You have to know.
I'm playing with you. I've done sexual health training.
Right, and all them things there. So
I'm surprised you know about it.
Of course, so when your youth them come to you, you can say, be careful of these things, careful of that thing. You know what I mean? So you might
not be careful. Cover yourself.
Yeah, but even that, it's not 100% nowadays. They said the condom was made out of rabbit skin. There's reckon it's got holes in it.
The thing is,
really, according to some things I've heard, that doesn't work.
What doesn't work?
Condoms.
Condoms. You pointing to down there.
Yeah, well, that's where it goes. It don't go on your foot, does it? But
no,
anyway,
the way you pointed. Condoms.
Down on the foot, brethren. So
yeah, but it must work. But it
don't work.
Sure, it does. It says on there, not 100%. It says on there.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So if it's not 100%,
because it can split, it can burst. You got some demonic people out there that pierce them with needles.
It's madness.
That's what I'm saying.
But when did sex become filthy, brethren? When sex is a wonderful, beautiful thing. It's not sinful. It's not filthy. But because of the...
Do you know what I think?
They say that
use.
when you over-sex yourself,
you
don't have to catch it off of anyone.
What are you talking
about? I've read some time back that these sexually transmitted disease. I think it was Dr. Leo Africa.
Okay.
Said, how did the first man catch gonorrhea?
How? Well, how on earth would I know that?
Well, there you are. So if it's something that people can catch. Rather than
contact.
Yeah, hold on. Rather than them generating it within themselves because of oversex. It's what this is how he explains it.
Yeah.
That then you'd have to say the first man slept with a dog. People say the first man had sex with a dog and brought it into the human
things are actually
gene.
man-made.
No, this is generated. Yeah, of course.
But some things are
like NSU. When did that appear? You know what I mean? But they say that if you're oversexed, you can produce these things within yourself.
How can you produce a STD unless because if it's passed via contact?
This is what I'm saying. It's not only
you can't contact with yourself.
But then you have to answer the question: where did the first man get it from, brethren? If it's through contact, where did the first man?
Are you giving me a homework?
Yeah, go on.
Next time, you guys. I'm going to do some research and I'm going to try and see if I can answer.
So if it's not via human contact, then What the hell is it? Animal?
No, but it's like AIDS. They said AIDS, HIV, AIDS.
That's invented, brethren.
Yeah. From what I've read, that's supposed to be man-made. But then, what did they say? It was made. It started by men sleeping with monkeys in Africa.
All them kind of foolishness.
And all them. Do you understand? But it's like you can never be 100%.
Well,
but the thing is, even if a condom's not 100%, it don't mean don't use it because you might not be that.
Well, put it this way: they said the Europeans are. The Westerners are promiscuous. They try to blame on Africans. Let me tell you. Try to blame on Africans to say that they were promiscuous. Yeah. But black people only had sex, according to Dr. Elia Africa, around the month of... People were born around June and July.
Is it?
Yeah.
So about the rest of us?
No, the rest of them, that's why they didn't really have sex for hedonistic reason, for pleasure.
Do you know what?
Hedonism.
A lady said to me,
what I'm saying?
my nurse at my local GP. Yeah. And I went to see her, and I was like, she said, "Oh, how you doing? How you doing?" I said, "Oh, you know, because I've got medical conditions, yeah." And I was like, "Oh, you know, I feel really rough and whatever." And she said, "Oh, you don't have a partner, do you? You've been on your own for years." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Go have some sex." And then nurse, you know, I said, "What?" She said, "Go and have some sex." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "If you go and have some sex, I guarantee you half your ailments will go away."
Well, there you go. And that's true.
No.
That's true.
Come on.
No, let me tell you
How
this.
can that make, if you're ill, what all that's going to do, the only thing that's going to help is a cold, make a sweaty cold.
No. Libido wise. You see, sexual energy is a very special energy.
Okay.
Used properly.
Go on.
Yeah, if you know how to use it, then it's sort of, what do you call it there? Tantric yoga type of thing. Yeah. Because the greatest ecstasy that you can realize.
God,
it's
proper. He's proper emotion.
It what now? You got me preaching now. But what I'm saying to you, the greatest ecstasy one can realize is through sex. Therefore, tantric yoga, you would bring your partner to the point of ecstasy. This is a sex show.
Oh, have you used it? Have you used that technique?
Oh well, I won't say nothing. But you must be able to. I mean, according to the theory, man not supposed to ejaculate more than twice in his lifetime, brethren. Think about that. And this is what we as people practiced. The man not supposed to ejaculate more than twice in his lifetime.
You hear how you say the lifetime?
Yeah, man. That means to say what he did, you used to reach the point of ecstasy and then send it back around the body again.
Yeah.
Rather than...
But that's about control,
that's tantric yoga type.
Okay.
So when you energize your vision, you're in trance,
okay,
and the woman breaks out in trance, and the woman, she's a goddess and you're the god. This is proper. This is taking sex and putting it back into its correct
position.
This is shut up, man. Listen. Listen. This is taking.
I'm listening.
This is taking the hedonism out of sex.
Okay.
Putting it back into its proper place, brethren.
Okay, yeah. Well, let me tell you what, it can stay in its box because I'm not fornicating
just
to get my aches and pains to go away.
Why?
Because what do you mean? Why?
It's your sexual energy. It's your creative energy. You've now suppressed your libido, brethren.
Well, then it's gone. If that's the case, then it's gone. Huh? That's not sorry for me because I'm good.
You reckon?
I'm happy. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Do you know what? Why do men? Yeah, because I've never had a woman say it. But why do men always assume because you're not being intimate with anybody that it kind of devalues you inside? Let me tell you something now. I don't feel any less empowered. I have no distractions within my mind and outside of what I'm actually focusing on. It not fornicating doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you less of a woman. It doesn't make you less of a man. Yeah, and I think it makes you a more powerful person because you can control it. You can control it. You can switch it off and you can switch it on. It's choice. Remember, it's a choice.
Okay. Heru, back in the day, there was NSU, gonorrhea, lice, syphilis, and VD. All the same thing. VD is venereal disease. That's what we used to call it.
Yeah.
VD. So it's not. VD is not a disease in itself. That's what we call all sexually transmitted diseases. Venereal disease. That's what we used to call it. VD. So when a man says, "Oh, I got
no STD."
No. Before STD, you used to say VD. Yeah, and that meant venereal.
All of those things, when you talk about them as a whole,
syphilis,
it's that
lice.
STDs.
Hey,
You know what? Let me quickly hit
how about some initiation, veterans? You know,
you're a joker. Let me give you a joke. I was on the phone one time, yeah, and I was talking, and they said, "Oh, can I have your STD code, your postal code?" Yeah.
STD.
No, listen, that's what the woman said. So I said, "You want my STD?" So, she's like, yeah. So I'm giving the postcode, and all of a sudden, my kids in the background like, "Mummy's got STD."
Yeah. and how do they know about that? See, how do they know about that?
Because
I've heard
spoken to my kids about those things.
But funny enough, I've been speaking to a brethren the other day. He told me, went on my course. One of the guards was telling, he was one of the trainers, was saying that when he's doing security, he had a Superman thing on his back. Okay. Somebody semen all over him. Superman. So I said, isn't that what they used to call that Superman thing? That
superhero.
No, but what it is. It turns out to be human semen on the back, and they stick it on the back of your thing.
What?
Yeah, stick it on their shirt and then use it. I said, boy, them people have dread. Yeah. So I do know what the youths are dealing with.
Is it a sign or something?
No.
Please tell me it's like the fluid itself.
Yes, it is.
What kind of nasty
and they stick it on your back.
Why? That's
God knows.
disgusting.
This was the youths them were doing.
That is absolutely...
It's called Superman. I think Superman or something like
that. Our Superwoman that back.
As bad as that, I thought, bloody hell, mate.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot as well.
I have to go and tell my kids, you know what, you better be careful, someone might Superman.
They would say, you're late, that's old, mum, that's old stuff. They would say that's old stuff.
No, they'll say, Mum, what on earth are you talking about?
No, they wouldn't, you know. I'll try it, ask them tonight about Superman. I forgot what they called the name of it.
If I was to go to my kids and ask them about Superman, they're going to think I'm talking about the Superman.
You reckon?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. All right. But in general, I think it's, I don't know, the sexual act, it's gone perverted now. You know
Do you think it's because, all right, we've got a lot of single parent families and that, and a lot of people, not just youngsters, but adults as well, they don't have partners, they just have links, yeah? Do you think that's part of the reason? Because the value before, because as growing up, I don't know about in your day, but in my day, it was more of like you with your partner. Do you know what I mean? So, do you think it's that it's kind of been devalued, like sort of thing, that relationship thing, and that's why
devalued?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oops, you're right there, babe. Yeah. All right. No, fell over there. Huh. But devalue means that you don't. I don't know if it's been devalued as much as it's not being, what that's called, taught properly now. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you had to use your, to discover this. You have to trial and error. Your parents never really sit down and tell you what's what and what's not, the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and everything. No, they didn't tell you that. You have to discover it yourself. You know what I mean? That's what we did. You have to discover it. But today, it's talked about so much from. I mean, my mother wouldn't let me even discuss that. You're joking, what? Sex and all that? What? You're crazy, brethren.
I couldn't even discuss it.
You're mad.
I couldn't even watch nothing on TV that had kissing.
That's right.
I hear the joke. I'm watching the TV with my 10-year-old son just the other day, and they started kissing, and you know, I went to put my hand out and I looked at him, but he was already looking face down, you know, not looking or nothing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's conscious of it. But today, we talk about it much more than we...
Do you know what? More open.
Yeah, I think...
More relaxed. The views are more relaxed.
Yeah,
like, you know what? I just want to meet this guy, you know, and we've done a thing and blah, 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 blah. And then just openly, like, you can sit on public transport and you're hearing those conversations.
Yeah. Back in the day, you would never hear that.
You
couldn't even talk about boyfriend and girlfriend in my house. Mum, shut your back up. Girlfriend and boyfriend? Yeah, talk about that. Yeah. Come on, read the book. I will talk about boyfriend and girlfriend. But now, Mum, I'm going out with, and you know, you don't want to engage. I don't personally want to engage in that kind of talk with my children.
Why?
Because I don't want them to think it's just something you can just roll off your tongue or something. I need them to have respect for it. I need them to think it's taboo in a sense of the word, that you know you don't do those things. Not just coming there, mum just say off with the geese down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you can't do that, brethren.
No, but you need to be at a level where if your child feels they need to come to you, they can come to you,
discuss
and say
something.
To you. But let me tell you something. My son, he come to me and tell me
everything.
Not everything, but when he was younger, he came to me and told me about his first time.
Really?
And I said, if I ever find out who this woman is, I'll lock up her ass.
Is it? Well, she's older than me.
Age difference.
Yeah, well, it happened to many of us.
But whereas
Happened to many of us, best of us, I think. It happened to the best of us. Yeah, man, I tell you, it happened to me. But that's cool because
why is it cool?
I wouldn't send her to prison. You're having a laugh,
You wouldn't, innit? Because you're named man. That's why.
No, but she
10 years age difference. 26,
10
13.
years. Yeah, I was only 11.
And you think that's right? Yeah.
No, it's not right, but
11. What would you do at 11 years old? Just about now to spray your armpits at 11 years old.
I just started secondary school at the time. You know what I mean? But you find that's happened to a lot of young men.
But don't you think it's wrong? You don't think it's wrong?
I don't know, because in different countries, I suppose different sex ages are different. Some people get married at 12.
Yeah, but obviously,
you know what I mean?
Don't want to get married.
No, which is wrong. Definitely wrong. Because I always tell my children, listen, the right age to indulge in that is when you're 20, 19, 20. Right age. To
indulge is there is no right age. Yeah.
Well, unofficially.
You could be 26, but if you don't find that, don't just go and give yourself. Your body is like
sacred.
Your temple.
Yeah, it's sacred for real.
Use it to show someone how much you love them.
Yeah, for real.
Not
that's
just
or a pleasure zone. You know what I mean? For real.
If you
well, we have we have DJ Riggs in the wings waiting, and we'll be bringing you into the evening as usual. It's been a nice one. I think it's been cordial, respectful. I know people probably didn't want to ring in because they probably had a story to tell. They don't want to say, that's not a problem.
Feel free. Look, he's as honest as they come. Well,
that's right. Look who's talking. So, do you want to say your farewells?
Anyway, as I always say, if you can't be good, be safe and have a pleasant afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Rice and peas?
No, I had curry goat and rice.
Curry goat and rice.
Yeah.
Okay.
My daughter cooked it.
Did she?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm going to have some rice and peas and chickpeas and all that. Because I don't eat
chicken peas.
Nothing but a face. Chickpeas. Not chicken peas.
I know, I'm taking the mic.
Chicken peas.
I'm taking the mic.
You're joking. You know what I mean? Well, I'll be back on Monday actually. For those of you who are interested and want to tune in, we're going to go into some deep runnings, brethren. We're going to go look into our true self. Not your African self or your black self or your ethnicity. We've got to transcend that, man. Are you still stuck in that thing? You're still grappling with self-identity, eh? Haven't you transcended that yet? Haven't you? Well, if you tune into me, then I'll teach you how. I'll show you how to transcend all of those from eating very low from the tree of life. You see what I'm saying to you? We're gonna go and eat high off the tree. How about that? And we're gonna, realize our divinity rather than realize our ethnicity. I'm surprised people are still stuck and still arguing about the black and thing. It really gets my goat going. And we're not those things. We are much higher than those things. So if you're interested in your high self and your true self, you will tune into the Heru show, the initiation program, and stuff like that. So time is now 5:56 and counting. And as I said, it's been wonderful. I hope it's been informative for you, and I hope you've learnt a few things. And I thank you, all of you, for calling and texting in like that. Very good conversations, And so I don't know who will be in next week, but whoever it is, I'm sure you'll be keeping them company, good company, as you've been keeping me and Neveyah. And we'll be back on the People's Talk Show when it's our turn. Maybe she might join me during the week, maybe, if she wishes. But definitely keep it locked into Mr. DJ Riggs' session. It's a good session. He always plays good music. I enjoy his music all the time. It's just barbecue music, even in winter. How about that? Which is cool, That's why I call it barbecue, but he's got the right name for it. So stay tuned and keep it locked, and ting. Remember that from Monday, it'll be all week. That Monday to Friday, I should be back in my normal slot. I've been away for 6 weeks now, so but that's good, because it's good to have a break sometimes, because sometimes things can get a bit hectic. You know what I mean? And having a break make you realise. I didn't hear anything out there that's different. Hearing the same old over the airwaves. I hear the same old chat. Same old. Brainwashing talk. So it's about time we come up with something different, man. Rise consciousness a bit, man, away from that level. Go to your true self. So even if you didn't have any culture, doesn't it make a difference? You still be alive. You know what I mean? You still be alive. You're not alive as a result of your culture or your ethnicity. Do you realize that? Well, you're alive as a result of the divine plan. That's what I'm talking about here. And you must know the plan. So in order to know the plan, in order to rise consciousness and turn you into that God-man, God-woman that you really are. Yeah, So, as we move on, and I'd like to thank all of you once again for tuning in, and all the management technicians and all the rest of the pilots here in Genesis that are going to make up a formidable team that we have down here. And so, what am I to say? Well, there's only one thing left for me to say, and that is what I always say, and that is, this is Heru saying, I'm not really out yet, but soon be. Oh yeah. All right. So, this is Heru saying, I am well and truly out.
Yourself, Genesis Radio.